Hey, what's up, listener? Thank you for pressing play. This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, we got geek news and reviews. We talk AntMan and the Wasp opening box office numbers and discuss tons of casting news for Spawn, the Spider-Man sequel, Star Wars Episode 9, and Shazam. Plus, you're going to get our spoilery thoughts on Season 2 of Marvel's Luke Cage on Netflix, listener voicemails, and a whole lot more, all in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Wednesday, July 11th, 2018.
Check. Check one. All right. This is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up. Be jocking, be nerding. Be funny, disturbing. Be jocking, be nerding. Be spoiler alert. Oh yeah. Be jocking, be nerding. Be funny, disturbing. Oh yeah. Be jocking, be nerding. Be spoiler alert. Give it up one time.
Oh, what's up, listener? How's it going? Thanks for tuning in, and welcome to the Jock and Nerd podcast. Jock and Nerd, where we give you comic book and superhero TV and movie news, reviews, and whatever we choose. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's the nerd.
And he's the Rug Boy. Wagwan Rugs, what's up, man?
Them call me Rugmaster.
Them call him Rugmaster, man. Best bourbon this side of Harlem.
That's
Bourbon?
right.
Rugmaster bourbon. You never tried it?
Oh, that's right.
You can only find it in the puppet speakeasies in the back alleys late at
Bourbon.
night. Puppet Rugmaster bourbon.
Wait a minute, we should sell that.
We're gonna white label some bourbon and sell it on the streets.
Yeah, we should get like our crew at the Nation to figure out how to make Rugmaster bourbon happen.
It needs to be made in a bathtub with.
We need
cotton.
someone from the Nation that is into making brewing their own beer or making alcohol, and then we need to label this shit.
Yeah.
Or we could just buy bourbon and slap a label on it and say we made it. That's
Yeah.
also.
Imagine that would be like a
shit.
Patreon like perk.
Yes.
You get a Rugmaster.
The highest tier. Get a Rugmaster
Rugmaster.
bourbon. Hey, if you're a first-time listener.
Run.
Thank you so much for picking our show. There's a couple of things you should know that you should do. Here's how you get around all this. Visit our website for show notes. Every episode, it's got a bunch of links to what we talk about, how to subscribe, and you can find it simply by going to jockandnerd.com/229. You'll find the links for this episode. And there's a new link, very important, we're going to do a little bit of news, and we're going to review Luke Cage Season 2 on Netflix. Wagwan, it was good. Very good, man. There is a new place you can listen to the show. There's some news for Android users to get you very excited. The last big player in podcast apps has finally stepped into the ring, and I'm talking about Google. Google has released a podcast app that's available only on Android phones. Now, I'm a fucking Apple fanboy. I will profess. I have 3 Apple computers in front of me. I got an iPhone. I fucking love Apple. Always will. But I understand internationally, there's way more fucking Android phones.
Is there really?
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
Apple iPhone is a fraction of users. So the stats are most podcast listeners have iOS devices, but that's only because it comes with a podcast app. It's so easy to send a link. You click it, it opens right in your phone if you have an iPhone.
Right.
Google has now done the same thing. If you have an Android, just go to jockandnerd.com/Google. It will take you to the Google Podcast app in the Play Store. You can subscribe there, and you can add it to your home screen, and then you're literally one tap away to our shows, and they're
From
right
our
there.
fucking faces and our damn dirty opinions.
That's right. And it does one other unique thing. This is Google, after all. Everyone searches on Google. It will recommend podcasts based on shit you search. It's like a Netflix recommendation, but it knows everything about you. It's Google. So, of course, it's going to, like, you search for fucking basket weaving. Here's a basket weaving podcast. You might like this. Very cool. I don't think any other podcast app is doing that. So you can find us there now. I guess it's huge. It's a big thing for people to get to. Because, Ruggs, do you have an Android or an iPhone?
I have both.
Oh, you have both. And isn't on the Android, isn't it a little bit difficult to, like, get the podcast or get an app?
You need an app. You need to, like, get Podcast Addict or some other fucking Stitcher or something like that on your phone.
This one, look, I'm telling you, just go to jockandnerd.com/Google. Try it out. Google knows what you like, and you will like this show. All right, you bastards, let's get to the news.
The Jock and Nerd Podcast.
Last episode, if you haven't checked it out, we reviewed Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Geek boner.
Very fun movie. And we turned it out really quick. We didn't have opening number weekends. Here's what it made opening weekend. Domestically, $76 million. I think that's a respectable opening. Despite the fact it fell short what everyone was predicting. Like, we even thought it was going to go 100 million. But for Ant-Man, this is what it should make. I mean, it made 25 million more or 20 million more than the first one opening weekend. I don't think that's bad.
How much did it cost?
You know what? The budget isn't here, but I heard somewhere it costs like
it's 170.
160, 170.
It's already made that worldwide.
Worldwide, it's sitting at 178. So I don't think it's
as of today. I got actually on here. You got what do you have here? 76. Yeah. Did you say 93 almost now?
Yeah, it's at 92, almost 93 million domestic. Now, look, not the numbers of Infinity War, Black Panther, but it doesn't matter. It's all.
I mean, it matters.
Don't
say it doesn't matter.
93 as of today.
Yeah,
93 as of today.
It does matter, but it's icing on the cake for Marvel at this point.
I mean, it still matters. It's not the $100 million opening or the $85 million opening that people were predicting on the high end, but as Imran mentioned, it's still 20 million more than the first one that came out.
Wow.
So it's a success. It's not a rousing success. It's not let's get fucking crazy about this, but Marvel's happy.
But I think this is what they expected. Like, they're not like Warner Brothers, like expecting every movie to fucking
What was
open
the previous
big.
Ant-Man? There was 60?
Opened around 58.
50, Yeah, 58 or 55.
So this opened 20 mil more.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's respectable. I don't think everyone should be like, oh my God, it only made 76.
No,
it's good. That's great for it's Ant-Man. It's a small.
It's good. It's not. Honestly, I expected more.
Yeah.
But it's still solid.
It's decent, and
I did not expect it to be that number.
That low, really?
Not that it was low. It just I really thought it was going to go like at least in the 90s.
Yeah.
And it has a bit of competition coming up, so it'll be interesting to see where it ends up. It may get buried really quickly, but again, 20 for 20, number one openings.
Oh shit!
For Marvel.
It's going to have some legs just because the release dates internationally are so scattered.
That's right. It hasn't opened in the UK, August 3rd. So there's going to be another boost there. So I think it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Let's move into, there's a whole bunch of crazy casting news that came out this week. I wanted to fly through these, get your guys' thoughts on this. Starting with M'Baku from Black Panther, Winston Duke. He is going to play Kimbo Slice in the biopic called Backyard Legend.
Oh, shit.
Anthony, who is Kimbo Slice?
Kimbo Slice is a backyard legend. He is a guy that got famous on YouTube because he was big and buff and putting videos out on YouTube of him knocking fools out in backyard street fights.
That's early YouTube, man. He's YouTube famous. Wow, okay.
He was YouTube famous, and then he got so famous that he was signed by, at the time it was called Elite XC, and he was the actually first ever televised main event on Basic Network television. So it was on CBS. He was the main event.
Whoa, so on the first MMA on TV.
The first MMA on regular, not cable
on network TV.
Network TV,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. No, I remember hearing about Kimbo Slice as like this backyard brawler.
He was in the UFC too.
I used to watch the videos back in the Disney.
Yeah.
But
what year was this? Are we talking? This was like
2005.
Yeah, that's the first year of
2000s.
YouTube. Yeah. This is very early YouTube.
Yeah.
Is his story?
He's dead now.
He did die in 2016. That's right.
Yep.
Real name Kevin Ferguson.
Yep.
But do you guys think his story is worthy of a biopic? Will this be entertaining? Is it interesting?
I'm sure it's entertaining.
Yeah, he's got I think he was in jail for a long time prior to this. I think he had a lot of random jobs. I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think he was involved in kind of a shadier life and made it out by knocking fools out on the street.
Damn, this dude's almost like a real life.
What did he die of? A heart attack?
Yeah, I think he had like cardiac arrest, and don't quote me on that, but I believe it was heart problems. I can look that up too.
That looks cool. He sounds like a real life Luke Cage almost.
He looked. I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen him, Imran, but I mean, he looked like a comic book character.
Yeah,
in real life. Yeah.
I mean, that name is great, Kimbo Slice, and
he died of heart failure.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Winston Duke, I think,
How old
looks
was
the
he,
part.
by the way?
Quite young. He was 42.
Jesus.
Wow.
What was Imran?
If I had to speculate,
how you making me nervous?
This is pure speculation. I would assume he had done a good amount of steroids in his life,
yeah,
and maybe a good amount of cocaine.
Just like Imran.
Just like
Probably.
Same as Imran.
Oh,
Imran, you
dear.
scared now, Imran?
2019. I hope I see it. Let's not. This is wow. Look, I can live longer than Kimbo Slice. I'll be happy. I'll be a happy man. No, I think this will be. I love biopics like this. This sounds like it'll be
Winston
fucking
Duke's
awesome.
a good actor. The only thing I would say about Winston Duke is he's got to get real fucking ripped to
He's
look
gonna
like
have
Kimbo
to get
Slice.
huge.
Yeah.
What's Kimbo like?
I mean, he's big. Winston Duke is a big dude, but he's kind of I would go with big
Fluffy?
boned. Yeah, a little chunky.
Kimbo was chunky, muscular, right? He was like.
Kimbo was ripped.
Oh,
Look
he
him up,
was
man.
ripped.
He was built like
Yeah,
a brick shithouse.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
Yeah, you don't want to fuck with Kimbo Slice.
No, he was a guy
shit.
like you would walk in like if he came
Looks
up
like a
to you on the
Street Fighter
street,
character.
Yeah.
If he came up to you on the street, you'd not want to fuck with that.
Damn.
He was not actually all that good in MMA, but
Because he just was
intimidating
good at
motherfucker.
laying people out.
He's just like a brawler.
he was just a brawler.
Brawler.
He was just a brawler.
Yeah.
He was just a street fighter with some basic boxing experience and was just knocking people out bare knuckle. There's one fight on YouTube where he just destroys someone and this guy's eye just comes out of his fucking face.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, shit.
Wow. I mean, look, a lot of this kind of reminds me of the Luke Cage. Only,
Street Fighter character is a good comparison.
yeah, it's a good Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Damn, that looks cool. I'll be into
Great
that.
name too. Great nickname.
Yeah.
Kimbo Slice.
I wonder where that came from. I wonder if that'll be in the movie. It probably will.
Probably. It'll probably be like all in one day, like Solo.
Yeah, all this shit happened in one day.
You got nicknamed Solo. You got the Millennium Falcon.
I got YouTube famous in 24 hours. Oh, and the big fight happens tonight? Wow, what a convenience. What a coincidence.
What a great day.
What the fuck? All right, let's not do that, whoever's doing this. Moving on, next casting news. Hawkeye, Jeremy Renner, is joining Jamie Foxx and Todd McFarlane's low-budget Spawn movie
What the fuck?
as Detective Twitch.
What a power move that is right there. It's like a shitty move for Jeremy Renner because he could be in better movies than this.
But Todd is now killing it with this casting.
Yeah, because like he can carry the whole movie, Jeremy Renner.
Well, he's going to have to because I think Twitch Williams, Detective Twitch, is going to be like the main guy. Isn't it Sam and Twitch were the detectives in the book?
Yeah.
So you're going to have to cast Sam. These guys are going to be the main guy, and Jamie Foxx will just like pop in the background every now and then. But damn, I'm surprised. Jeremy Renner's like, let me at this. I'll do this for Blumhouse. Good for them, I guess.
Well, you hire the right actor that can carry your movie. Hopefully, even if it's not that great, he could probably at least act like it's good.
These guys must be taking huge pay cuts too to be in this movie. He does not. He's got like $10 million to make this movie. So they just must really do it for the sheer joy and the
Maybe
fun of
the
it.
part's interesting to him. He's like a cop. He gets to solve a crime.
Well, Todd did write the script, and he's writing and directing. That's the only thing that still makes me nervous a little bit.
Jeremy Renner
Little bit.
getting a lot of screen time. It's good for him.
Yeah, he needs something to do. He's been looking rather depressed lately.
He gets
Jeremy
to grow
Renner?
an awesome mustache.
I don't know. Who knows what he does?
Come on, everybody wants to have a mustache. Henry Cavill had one.
That's
we
right.
We all.
And if you don't, you can just CGI. Where were you, Hawkeye?
I loved Jeremy Renner in The Town.
Oh, yeah, he was good in that. He's good in Hurt Locker.
I have not been impressed though with his Marvel career.
Well,
Did you see the one where he's in in Alaska?
I don't know, but I'll ask you.
More funny.
Yeah, that's an old callback, old joke, bro.
That is a bad joke. Look, he's a good
That's
actor,
like from,
and
1998.
if he continues with like getting good casts, this movie actually may be lots of fun. So I'm kind of getting excited for the Spawn. Look, before we continue, I gotta tell the listener to join us, where we all hang out at our exclusive Facebook group called the Jock and Nerd Nation. It is a closed group just for our listeners. And we get new listeners every week. I would like to welcome new listeners joining this week. Trace Hare. I don't know how you say his name. John Campbell. We got more about John later. Raja Tayyab. Peter Kavathi. B. Joy D. Ray. I love
I have his album.
that dude. I love his second album. It was the best.
Yeah.
B. Joy. DJ B. Joy. And then this next name again is in a foreign language. Some type of Cyrillic alphabet. Rugs. Take a stab at this. How would you pronounce this?
Korbeck Rockpectamon.
Mr. Mitzaplik. Maybe
Yeah.
if he can get him to say his name backwards, he will disappear. So, Corbett, that's not his name. I'll call him that for now. He gave me a little bit of a hint. He said, my surname is Anthony, you should be able to say these words better than me.
Jastrzeebski.
Oh, there you go. See, the Polish in you is coming out. But you have to figure out my first name. So I did put it in the Google Translate this time.
But you put it the Cyrillic into
Yes, I put the Cyrillic into Google Translate. It told me it was Ukrainian, and it told me the first name is Sylvester.
Oh, shit.
Nice.
So, Mr. Mitzaplik, let me know if that's correct. Korbek,
Mr. Mitzaplik.
Rektapoktamon, whatever your name is.
I just tried to read the Cyrillic. I just turned all the letters around so they were facing the right
Let's see,
direction and then tried
backwards
to read it.
R, upside down
So
P.
we have two people that have weird names, Russian names.
No, the other one was Hindi.
Wait, we have Korbek Rakpukman.
Yeah, no, but his name is Sylvester Jastrzebski.
No,
I don't understand.
Pectimon is something is basically me trying to translate his name, which is like all Cyrillic letters, like all backwards and shit.
Got it.
That was
letters
That was
around.
Rug Boy.
Yeah.
That was Ruggs' guess.
I was so confused. I'm like, wait, we got two people with these Russian-looking names?
I
Or
like
Ukrainian?
Korbek. I think your new name is going to be Korbek.
I think I want to name my first child Korbek Rukpektimon.
Korbek Rukpektimon is a great name. Anyways, if you want us to fuck up your name, join the Facebook group, jockandnerd.com/community. We'll take you there. Okay, check out this casting news. Fucking Billy D. Williams is coming back as Lando Calrissian in
Oh,
Star
shit.
Wars
Geek boner.
9. I kind of enjoy that. That's fun. Are they going to kill him too, though? Probably. Is his son
He
going
will
to come
be
out?
on just to die.
They're going to find his son, and his son will kill him.
Yeah.
I'm glad, because he was kind of the last piece missing of the original trilogy cast. You want to know what Lando's been up to? Is he still smooth? Is he still drinking Colt 45? I don't know. But we'll find
I'm
out.
just thinking of obscure
Is
character
he
to
still
make
trying to
Star
fuck
Wars.
robots?
Is he still trying? Oh, that's right. Is he still?
I'm trying to think of an obscure character that from Star Wars, but I just don't know enough about the
You don't know.
Like
history.
he's
there.
trying to fuck robots that don't look remotely like a human being.
Did he ever get to fuck a robot? Is he still Donald Glover?
He just sticks his dick in the Millennium Falcon.
Interface
Like
here.
who else could they bring
Oh,
back?
shit.
Who else do we that seen? You could bring back like Wicket the Ewok. You could bring him back. We haven't seen him since Jedi.
What about Jar Jar Binks?
No, you don't want to do that.
You don't want to
No.
do that?
I don't
Did he
think
ever
you- I
die?
don't- that's a good question. I don't remember. I don't remember. But
Redeem
about
Jar Jar
Wedge?
Binks.
Wedge Antilles?
He died though, didn't
Wedge Antilles died.
he? Yeah.
Also, Carrie Russell, I think she's in the cast now. She's been added to Star Wars Episode 9. Of course, it's probably going to be another divisive.
Another white female character. That's all we need.
It's probably going to be another fucking huge divisive movie, and no one's going to agree. And we'll get into more of that later.
Billy.
We need a Latina in there in the Star Wars.
Yeah, where are all the Latinas in the Star
Where's
Wars
J-Lo?
universe in the future? Where are the Indian people in the past, in the future?
Yeah.
Didn't we get Indian?
Was there Indian guy in Star Wars?
Rogue One? No.
Yeah, we had the one guy that was the former
Riz Ahmed.
Riz Ahmed, yeah. He's not Indian.
He's Packy, dude. He's
Packy.
representing. But he died, of course. The one guy, and they had to kill him.
Everybody in that movie died.
That's
so.
a good point. Spoilers. But that's
spoiler alert.
Riz Ahmed was great. Okay, moving on to the next crazy casting news. JB Smoove. You guys know JB Smoove?
Yeah.
He's hilarious from
He's one of the funniest motherfuckers that ever walked
if
the
you've
earth.
ever seen
I
Curb
didn't
Your
know who he
Enthusiasm.
was.
Yeah.
And then I looked him up, and I'm like, I didn't recognize him from Curb Your Enthusiasm. I recognize him from The League, and he was one of the funniest episodes I've
Dude,
seen on The League.
JB Smoove is fucking hilarious.
Just watch him on any Conan O'Brien interview.
Yeah, he is great.
Or Curb Your Enthusiasm. He's great.
Curb Your Enthusiasm as Leon is fucking fantastic. He will be starring in Spider-Man Far From Home.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, look, they had Hannibal Buress in the
I
first
like
movie.
Hannibal Buress
He's
in the
great.
first
Now
one.
they got JB Smoove, and the role they're saying it's an important role, a lead role, but they haven't said who it is. And I saw someone make the guess, like, what if he's playing J. Jonah Jameson?
Multiple people have guessed that.
Jameson, I think that would be. I think I would watch that, dude. I think that would be
What
hilarious.
did the Spider-Man fans think of that?
Wow.
What do you think, Ruggs? Would you like him as Jameson?
This is like kind of like a weird thing here.
Yeah.
For me, because I love JB Smoove. I really love watching him in anything.
Absolutely.
But is he J. Jonah Jameson?
I mean, J.K. Simmons is clearly J. Jonah Jameson, but they're changing the fucking character this much anyways. Fuck it. Why not? I thought Ice Cube would make a good J. Jonah Jameson.
No, I think
That would have been great, right?
Yeah, but see, JB Smoove doesn't seem like the guy that would be like a hater guy.
No, might be a completely different Jameson. Like they may change the character, but he could play like over the top, like mad.
I kind of like it.
I think that could be interesting.
I'm so like, I don't know. I'm so perplexed by this because like I love JB Smoove, but like I don't know what's Jameson going to be like with him?
But we don't know he's playing Jameson. It's just everyone is making a guess.
Oh, it would be the craziest casting. I don't know.
It's someone.
You said a major character.
Yeah, it's someone
like
important.
At this
apparently.
point in time, like they fucking fucked up Spider-Man so much, I don't even care anymore.
That's what
like,
I'm
what
saying.
They do.
Yes.
The other person I could think of that's somewhat major, not as major as Jonah Jameson, is Miles Morales' dad.
Oh, Oh no, but his dad.
Yeah.
Oh.
He got his uncle in the. He got his uncle.
Yeah, Donald Glover was his uncle. Oh, that could be interesting. That could be interesting. I didn't even think about that, but I would love it if they just made him Jameson.
J. Jonah Jameson.
That's nuts.
Is that a Jewish name, Jonah Jameson?
No, he wasn't. Was he Jewish?
No, he's like an American dude.
Just an American dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I would see Bryan Cranston for it, but that's what.
Cranston would be a great Jameson. I could see that. That would be good.
Would you want? Here's a question: would you want your J. Jonah Jameson to be kind of like a little bit of a bumbling fool, like he was with the original trilogy?
No, I would like him to be like a really just like an Anthony Scaramucci or something.
Scared the mooch.
Just a fucking like a business dude, like a douche, like Donald Trumpy kind of thing.
Would you like him to, instead of being in charge of a newspaper, be in charge of a blog?
It might be like it might be a blog.
Well, I think of him as like the evil Harvey Levin from TMZ.
Oh yeah, that like a tabloid blog.
Yeah,
because every time I think I'm trying to think of JB Smoove now, fast talking like J.K. Simmons did.
Yeah. You just can't. J.K. Simmons nailed that fucking character so well.
He's got to do. I mean, they're going to have to do something.
That's who I always pictured. Jameson is exactly what J.K. Simmons did. It's amazing. But they fucked with things so much. Who knows? No Doctor Strange cameo in the sequel. Maybe somebody will cameo. Yeah, it's not going to be Iron Man.
I think someone might cameo, but they're not doing. I read an interview. He confirmed.
Yep, Strange would have been fun, but there's still other people that could have fun cameos.
I heard some other people refer to Kevin Feige as Kevin Feige.
I don't know how you say his name. Feige.
Feige.
Someone look it up. Feige?
No.
That Feige? That's the yogurt.
I just want to stretch it to almost an insult.
Feige.
I'm saying his name. I'm not pronouncing how to pronounce it.
Feige.
Every time I eat that yogurt, I feel bad.
Sorry. We're so juvenile.
How do you say this? Feige?
Yeah.
Feige?
Hey, Kevin Feige.
That's so stupid.
It's so bad.
Here's some next piece of casting news, and we're going to roll into some Shazam news. Jimon Hunsu.
Yes, I like that.
Played Korvath in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, I thought it was Mustard.
But no, Jimon Groupon Poupon. Great Poupon.
Mustard.
Dijon Mustard is cast as the wizard in Shazam.
That's interesting.
Like the wizard, I guess.
The creepy fucking wizard.
Who gives Billy Batson his powers. And we have our first look. Entertainment Weekly's put out this photo of Zachary Levi in the suit with a teenager next to him in front of a convenience store. And they're chugging sodas. What do you guys think? The suit looks like the fucking suit.
Looks like the suit.
Looks like the suit.
It still has a weird vibe of it being padded.
Really? I guess it looks less padded. I don't know. I could see some of his muscles, but
he's just incredibly jacked.
He would like us to believe. Yeah, like he would like us to believe that that's all him.
There's some shoulder pads going on.
It's all him. What does this tell you about the tone of the movie? Like, I'm again like, look, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a comedy, right? Like, what is this?
Yeah, it's gonna be a light comedy. Like everybody wants DC to do, they're gonna do it. So everybody complained it's too dark. Now they're gonna do a comedy. Now go suck my balls.
And everyone's gonna be like,
the costume is comic book accurate.
Yeah, I mean, how can you do a serious movie wearing that fucking costume? Is my question. But
he's got to act like a fucking kid in a giant dude's body.
He's got to pull Tom Hanks from Big. He's going to have to channel that shit. Also, the cinematographer Maxime Alexandre has confirmed the first trailer will drop Saturday of Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con, July 21st.
Oh, shit.
We'll be
Are they
getting our
doing
look.
Aquaman trailer too? Then
We're probably going to get Aquaman. We're probably going to get something from Wonder Woman. Look, this San Diego Comic-Con is a great opportunity for everyone else that's not Marvel to bring their best shit. Godzilla, King of Monsters
That's right.
is going to be there. Marvel TV will be there, but not Marvel Studios. And Warner Brothers, DC, I'm looking at you to impress. You got to fucking bring the good shit. You got to, announce a Batman movie maybe. Announce that you cast somebody. They need something fucking big and meaningful to anchor Hall H, I think, more than Aquaman.
Listen, Marvel cleared out. They're like not doing it this year, so
Not doing it.
this is the time,
It's a
dude.
big hole, man. Fill this hole.
Rise to the occasion.
If you don't take advantage of this, you guys are fucking idiots. And that's for everyone showing at Comic-Con. Like
This is the shot.
this is when it
It's a
kind
shot
of
to make an
levels the
impression.
playing. Yeah, it levels the playing field a little bit if you think about it.
Yeah, I think Shazam you had mentioned, and I do believe Aquaman is coming out that same time.
And I mean, I'm sure we'll see something from Wonder Woman because I think they're shooting that, or whatever.
Might see something, yeah. You might, and maybe we'll get some announcements of plans.
And I think maybe like the stuff from the DC Universe streaming network, we may see some previews of those shows. We may see whole shows.
They can take over the weekend.
They should. Saturday should be their day. People should be talking about nothing but Warner Brothers shit Saturday and Sunday and the next week if they do this right.
Maybe they'll announce this next thing you have up.
The next thing, this is a go officially. Last we talked about it, they were in talks. Joaquin Phoenix locked in this Joker origin movie. They're starting to film it in September. This is legit happening. So and you know what? I'm kind of excited. Todd Phillips directing. I think Joaquin Phoenix will make a fucking great Joker. Like, I'm excited to see if it's going to be R-rated, if it's going to be how dark.
I just want to see this take, maybe, and maybe it can ground the DC universe in a place where the reality is there. It's not so stylized.
Yes,
and it's gritty, and the realism of the terror of this character actually being a real person. That's something to be terrified by.
That can be chilling if done
Yes.
well. Also,
I am. Let me throw in my 2 cents. I am back and forth on this. I am excited to see this because I do think there can be some legit terror. I like the Joaquin Phoenix being casted. I think that's interesting. I listened to Mark Bernardin give his opinion on this.
Yep.
And then I listened to that and I was like a little bit swayed the other way, where it was like the whole appeal behind the Joker is that you don't know. He is just chaos.
Yeah.
He is the fucking storm that comes in the middle of the night, and you don't know how to prepare for it, and all you can do is hang out in its wake, basically.
Right. And so when you explain
when you explain that,
it just takes
does that
all
take
away. Yes,
something?
yes, it does.
Does it take away from the fact that this guy is just chaos incarnated?
Well, I'll have an ante to that.
Okay.
You ever watch anything with Joe Pesci in it?
Okay.
That Martin Scorsese directed?
Yeah.
All right. You think I'm funny? All right, you laughing at me?
Yeah.
Boom.
I'm a fucking clown, and then he's
You
all
fu-
crazy.
yeah. So that type of idea of a person that at any moment can go homicidal, you don't really know anything about Joe Pesci's character, really.
That's
you
true.
just know that you don't want to fuck with this guy. So you could keep an air of mystery and an air of whatever and still go in that direction. But who knows if they're going to actually stick the landing on this? Like, they could probably fuck it up big time.
So they're describing this as an exploration of a man disregarded by society that is not only a gritty character study, but also a broader cautionary tale. I love that description. It reminds me of kind of Taxi Driver. They could do a Taxi Driver type of thing. And also the budget is only $55 million. So this is going to be a nice low budget. It's going to have to be all in the drama, in the acting, in the writing. But I agree with Ruggs. I think they can do that and keep the air and just make him a psycho without giving away too much of why.
Look,
you don't want
I'm more down on this. I'm for this way more than anything with Jared Leto.
Absolutely.
Juggalo Joker.
Absolutely.
We can do this. Could be a palate cleanser. This could be the movie that kind of like, all right, this is a direction we can go with Joker that's legit. Now, if they change everything about the Joker and it's Joker in name only, then I'm going to be pissed off.
I mean, I hope they kind of do a little bit of like what you saw in The Killing Joke and the just this guy who's down on his luck and takes a job and it goes bad. But I don't know. The character study.
That was the one bad day thing.
Yeah.
I kind of like I kind of like the idea of them doing something where they tell his origin, and by the end of it, they're like, it's like from his viewpoint there, and at the end of it, it's like, wait a minute. A lot of this didn't actually happen the way you remembered it.
Right. Oh,
And
that's
it's like,
cool.
wait,
Yeah.
What
yeah.
was real? What was, what wasn't real?
Well, and that's the best thing about, Heath Ledger's Joker, even though, so this is my question, like, if you're doing the origin, are you doing the dude pushed into a vat by Batman origin? Because the Heath Ledger Joker, that wasn't his origin, and it was still fucking amazing.
Well,
it
his
didn't
origin
matter.
was that was the whole point, is he would tell a different origin every time. He asked
But
him.
he was, he wasn't affected chemically, his skin, he was wearing makeup. But it didn't, like, nobody called him out on that. Like, oh, this
He
is
had
Joker's different.
scars. He had something.
He did
to
have the
relate
scars.
him to.
Yeah.
He had some kind of disfigurement.
Just amazing interpretation.
That would
of
make him
Joker.
an outsider.
Yep. That would make him a freak. And so, yeah. Let's see. I've seen some of the fan art that people are making of Joaquin, and I just think he looks like he'll make a fucking badass Joker. He just always looks
What's
dark.
the reason that Heath Ledger's Joker is so good?
He is chaos. You don't know what he's going to do whenever he enters the room.
Chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, all of this cartoony bullshit of the Joker is out the window.
It doesn't work in that.
It doesn't have anything to do with the comics, really, other than that he challenges Batman. He enjoys challenging Batman.
Like, he didn't really have a laugh, but it didn't matter. You know?
He had a laugh.
He did have a laugh?
Yeah.
I don't remember what it sounded like. It wasn't like...
You'd walk in and he'd be like,
Oh, he did do that.
and then, or he'd be like, like, do one of those.
It
Yeah,
was
he
every
did
time.
a couple of laughs.
It was more organic, though. It really, like, it did feel organic and not forced like it was supposed to be.
It was a Joker crafted by the Nolan universe,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
going to be super
brilliant.
as
Yeah.
realistic
Brilliant.
as you can get it.
It's
And I think that this is going to be a stone's throw away from that.
hopefully if they can get close to that with with this talent and this budget, I think it'll be exciting. What else is exciting is this last bit of news before we take a break. Fucking Robocop is returning, everyone.
Oh shit.
And it's going to be called Robocop Returns, directed by Neil Blomkamp, who did District 9 and Chappie. District 9's an amazing sci-fi movie. But here's the best part. The original writers, Ed Neumeyer and Michael Miner, are coming back, and they have planned this as a sequel to the first movie.
Oh shit.
They're pulling like a Halloween or like a
Oh,
Terminator. Holy shit. Just disregard 2 and 3.
I actually never saw the reboot.
I
Joel Kinnaman.
I can't remember if I
It's
saw
not
it.
good.
It was
It's not
forgettable.
good.
I don't remember.
I hated
it.
that suit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very forgettable. It wasn't like a horrible movie, but it's just Robocop in name only.
It seemed generic, like very generic.
Yeah, very generic. I like Neil Blumkin.
Yeah.
I like
Blumpkin. Give him a Blumpkin. on the
Give
way
him
out.
Lumpkin.
I love Neil Blumkin a
shit.
lot.
Yeah.
I like most of his movies, even the ones that don't quite work
Sure.
are still pretty good.
Sure.
He's great with machinery.
He is. He has
He's
a
great with
definite
cyborgs.
He has a
and stuff
definite
like that.
style. He's great with action.
He's great with action. He likes to get gory.
Yeah.
It's a perfect match right here.
Because Paul Verhoeven, the original, that was Verhoeven, right? Who did the first one?
Verhoeven is a fucking twisted genius.
Dude,
though.
that shit was disturbing and violent in ways that you were not expecting in a movie
it's
called
still
Robocop.
one of the greatest movies.
It is.
Sci-fi
Robocop
movies.
is one of my favorite sci-fi
it is.
movies. of
It's
all time.
amazing.
Yeah.
And the thing is too is you got to, from my perspective, growing up as like Robocop is this like cartoony character as a kid watching the cartoons and playing the video games, and then you're like, man, I want to watch the legit live action Robocop,
Yeah,
and you throw
yeah.
that on, and I'm like, holy
It's
fuck,
so
Mom, what are we
fucking
watching?
Dark, dude. There's 2 things I'll never forget watching it. I watched it when I was young. When what's his name? What's his name in this movie?
Murphy.
Murphy.
Yeah.
When they blast his arms off.
Oh yeah.
That left a fucking image in my head. That was
They were just
so
torturing him.
Yes, it
They're
was
just
so
shooting
brutal.
his hands, shooting his legs.
And then when that like mutated fat guy exploded on the front of the car.
oh yeah,
I always remember that fucking
they
scene
go
too.
in the acid pits.
Yes, then
Yeah.
he come out as a monster.
I mean, there's so much gore in that movie.
I mean, if this movie, it's never, that's the thing. Robocop has so much to live up to. It's like you can't even make a good sequel. It's like all the Terminator sequels besides Terminator 2
Yep.
are just not good.
Well, there were a lot of problems with this RoboCop sequel. I remember they're hearing that they had originally a better script, but it got hacked up, and they took out a lot of the stuff that made the original RoboCop what it was.
Yeah, Frank Miller wrote it.
Yeah.
Well, he did the third one, but they've been planning.
No, the second one.
He wrote the second one. These guys have been planning this this movie for a while, and it's finally
The only thing I would
happening.
say is And I know we're fans of RoboCop. I don't know if there's a demand anymore for RoboCop. I think this is similar to the Predator thing, where we might care.
It was of its time also.
Oh, yeah. Does this time actually give a fuck about RoboCop?
Well, they tried to make a PG-13 RoboCop that was generic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that does not work.
Sucked balls.
Right.
I mean, I own it. I've never had the desire to watch it. When you buy a DVD and you never watch it, there's something wrong with the movie.
Yeah.
So maybe they're trying to go back and they just want to get you thinking about RoboCop again and see if that interests people as a property. I don't think it's going to make a shitload of money, but it depends on how much money they're going to throw at this movie.
I mean, the first one it had commentary, social commentary about, the world and corporate America and stuff.
Fucking weird ass commercials.
Yeah. I'll buy that for $1 on the commercial.
Right.
So could you do something with corporate America today and Wall Street and I don't know, fucking AI?
You'd have to do it a little differently.
Yeah, but Blomkamp's good with that too.
He is good at,
and the original writers are good with that probably too. The original writers are probably 80 years old.
They gotta be old. Hopefully they got another good idea left in them. I'm excited by all these things. I love that it's going to be a sequel to the first movie. Original writers, Blomkamp's great director. Bring out the RoboCop. Fuck it. Why not? You're making fucking Predator. No one's going to go see that. Make this one.
Well, they already made a shitty RoboCop sequel.
Yes. So go back to the original.
I mean, they made a lot of shitty RoboCop sequels.
Just bring the original suit back.
You can't really, it's there's nothing more you can do to fuck it up. So
maybe you bring Peter Weller back as an old RoboCop, and then you pass it on to a new RoboCop.
Yeah,
bring back
RoboCop. The original is stood the test of time. It's still awesome.
I agree. I love the original suit.
I love that suit. It still holds up.
Yeah,
it still looks like a fucking robot.
And it looks like a robot in a tank, covered in a tank. You don't need to streamline it.
No, he's a tank.
You want it to be blocky. He's fucking heavy and slow, but it doesn't matter because you can't knock him over. You can't shoot him. Just fucking come with me. Right on. I don't know when that's coming out, but
that's so Terminator.
That's the other one.
Bitch.
Sorry. What I wanted to say was.
What does he say? What does
he says? Fuck.
That's not what he says either.
Ruggs, what's the catchphrase?
Oh, there's so many. I don't know.
I'm trying to blank. Dead or alive, you're coming with me.
That's what I was trying to remember. Dead or alive. You've been terminated. Oh, that's the other one again. Damn it. One. Shit. All right, look, let's take a break and reset ourselves, and we'll come back on the other side and review Luke Cage Season 2.
Come quietly, or there will be trouble.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
What's up, everybody? This is Mr. Throwback Thursday from the Mr. Throwback Thursday podcast, along with my co-host Bill. Every Thursday, we bring you classic hip-hop.
Classic.
Classic. All the good stuff, the stuff that you forgot about, the golden age, pre-golden age, back to the original era.
For all the pioneers, I'm going way back.
Each week, we bring you hip-hop headlines, so we let you know what's going on with your favorite artists from back in the day. We bring you Wu News. We dedicate an entire segment just to the Wu-Tang Clan every week.
Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with.
We bring you 2 records. One is a one and done. One is a record of the week. We give you an artist of the month. We give you all the classics.
Classic.
Straight classic.
Come and check us out. Every week we're on iTunes, Stitcher, and at MrThrowbackThursday.com. And if you remember nothing else, always remember, new school stale, old school fresh.
Forgive the interruption, but I believe this requires your attention.
If you ever believed Captain America was on the U.S. Olympic soccer team.
If you ever thought that the Winter Soldier was that brace yourselves guy on the internet.
And if you ever wondered just what would a raccoon do with a machine gun.
Then don't let another week pass you by without tuning into
Mighty Marvel Geeks.
Mighty Marvel Geeks is your show about all things Marvel.
With news, rumors, commentary, and interviews.
As well as our weekly recommendations on what to pick up on New Comic Book Day.
Official consulting hours are between 8 and 5 every other Thursday.
That's Mighty Marvel Geeks on WeebieGeeks.net, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and anywhere else you listen to podcasts.
Hey Hey, listeners, sign up to our awesome fan club. Visit jockandnerd.com/Patreon. And once you sign up, you get instant access to hours of bonus content just for our patrons. Got a shout out. Huge thank you to our latest patron signing up this week, John Campbell.
Oh, Jock and Nerd.
Who also joined the group. Thank you so much. He signed out. John Campbell, your stickers have been sent. They're in the mail. I hope you enjoy the stickers and the bonus content you get. It's
Can I
that
give a
simple.
shout out?
Yeah.
I want to give a shout out to loyal patron and Patreon contributor now, Chaz Hubbard, because he makes me do some work.
I like that. Everyone likes that.
I know sports isn't our niche that we mostly go for, but it's a little just a different flavor for you if you're paying on the Patreon.
I like it. It's we cover a little bit of everything, and there's like 3 whole episodes of Jock Talk with Anthony
3 or
and Chaz.
4, yeah.
There's 4 now. Yes.
Yeah.
It's growing.
It's
growing,
yeah.
and it makes up for the fact that I haven't given my instant reactions to Luke Cage or Ant-Man, so I'm sorry.
It's bonus content you get. jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Sign up today. Lots of fun. Okay.
I'm still thinking about Detective John Campbell.
I'm Detective John Campbell. Thank you for joining. It's not a tumor. Oh, John Campbell joined our Patreon. It's a kindergarten cop teacher.
Yeah.
Detective John Campbell.
You have to make a joke out of the name. That's the point.
Absolutely. But his name was like it's so white that I had nothing to go with. So sorry.
Oh shit.
John Campbell.
I'm a police officer.
What am I forgot that was the
I'm a cop, you idiot.
I'm a cop, you idiot. I'm a detective. Okay. Marvel's Luke Cage on Netflix season 2. Full spoilers. Here's your spoiler alert.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
Luke Cage, of course, published by Marvel Comics. First appearance, Luke Cage, Hero for Hire. Number 1, June of 1972. Created by Roy Thomas, Archie Goodwin, and John Romita Sr. And this is the 9th season of Marvel TV on Netflix.
Is it 9?
Pretty awesome. Yes. Well,
Jesus.
When we ranked them, yeah. So we got it's pretty amazing, and they're still kicking. And whether whatever happens with this streaming service, whether they pull these off, I don't know. But for right now, they're here. Let's start off with opening thoughts. Who saw this the most recently? Because I watched this a while ago. Okay, Anthony, opening thoughts on season 2 of the Luke Cage.
Opening thoughts. I liked it better than season 1 for sure.
Okay.
Although I think season 1's first half, I don't think it ever got to that level of the first half of season 1 with Cottonmouth.
Strong first half, yeah.
Did we hit the spoiler button. Sorry.
We did. Here.
Spoiler alert.
Boom. I liked it better than season 1 overall. Wasn't all that into the ending per se.
We'll get to that, yes.
But I really enjoyed like the gang warfare stuff. I really enjoyed the adding the flair of the Jamaican Caribbean culture to this. I think it really no pun intended, spiced up the show. It was something that personally I haven't seen a lot of on TV recently. Is highlighting that Jamaican culture.
Yeah,
So I thought this was really fun. So overall, I really enjoyed the show. No, I wouldn't say really enjoy. I enjoyed the show. I don't think it's as good as some of the other Netflix stuff.
Yeah,
I think one of my problems with it is a lot of times Luke Cage is actually the most uninteresting character in the entire thing.
Black Panther kind of suffered from that too. And Black Panther.
But overall, I actually pleasantly surprised by the season, and I got through it pretty quickly. Usually with some of these, it's a little slower burn for me.
Really?
But this one, I was really interested in just.
That's interesting.
All right, let's keep this going. Once I was hooked, I was hooked.
Yeah.
So overall, I actually enjoyed this and was pleasantly surprised.
Okay, Rug's opening thoughts.
My opening thoughts. I think that the writing on this show is horrible. The characters on the show are great, and the acting is great. So even though, I'm not talking about writing as let's say dialogue, because that's very strong. Okay, there's
You're talking about plot.
I'm talking about plot and moving things along and spinning its wheels and doing things that are unnecessary.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So they spin their wheels a lot. But when they get to the nitty gritty and there's a dialogue scene that requires acting, the characters start to carry the show. And it starts to build towards the middle. And then once you're in the middle, it's like now you're off and running. So it doesn't have that thing where it's the first show where it dies out and peters out.
Right.
It kind of starts building and it's like a roller coaster ride when you get to the end. So it has better pacing than season 1. The acting is top notch. The characters that they wrote are great for the most part, but it does get weighed down by this writing of not being able to plot out a story properly. No. But everything else is good. There's some weak moments in the beginning, but overall, like, they really upped their game. I agree with Anthony about Luke Cage being the weakest character. And but I enjoyed it thoroughly. I was just like, the music was great.
Yeah.
That having that the inclusion of other gangs from other cultures was great. You got to see a little bit of all, like, the makeup of all these people that kind of contributed to Harlem. You get some calls out to the past of, like, what happened to build this whole gang warfare.
Yep. Some backstory.
So you really do get a lot of stuff in this that's really great. So I liked it, even though in spite of things I could critique it, I liked it.
I mean, I'll agree with mostly what both of you guys said, but I really love this season, man. It was a slow start, but you really got to get to care about these characters. I loved how there was one main villain instead of splitting the season in half, and kind of a nice complex interweaving storyline. I loved how every side character kind of had important shit to do, and they had very compelling story arcs. Like, I thought that was handled very good. I love how it got darker than the first season, and I like this better than the first season.
It's more violent, for sure.
But it's still fun when it needs to be. Like, a lot of this reminded me of shades of, like, Spike Lee and John Singleton, where the show is political, but it also has fun moments, and they balance it well. And I think this is a better use of the 13 episodes. It's still, like, 2 episodes too long. There is some filler. I see what you're saying, Ruggs. They sometimes show you things they already told you, or they do the thing where the guy's going to tell you what he's going to do, and then he does it, and then he tells you that he just did it. Like, they do that a lot, and there's a bunch of filler. But man, the musical performances to me just fucking sold it. And the I love how they didn't water down the Jamaican Caribbean culture and contrast it with, like, African American culture, hip hop culture, fucking the Caribbean accent. Like, you just walk around talking like that. It's so great. I had the captions on, so I could understand what they were saying.
Me too. I had to do it too.
But somebody, I forget who posted in the Nation. I think it was Wes. He's like, I just got real irie and I understood all of it, man. No problem.
Yeah, you gotta smoke a joint before you watch.
Gotta get lifted, brah, to listen.
Who's got 13 joints laying around?
Oh, hey, have you been to my house lately? That's just 13 joints. That's just half a day. But a great villain. Holy shit. A lot of great standout. And I agree with Ruggs. There are certain conversations and moments that are just so fucking good, and it builds on everything. Luke Cage season 1, Iron Fist, The Defenders. It's so good. So let's just get into a discussion. I kind of wanted to go through the great moments throughout, the season, and then save kind of that last episode for after, because that last episode, it's totally goes off the wall crazy, and it's like its own thing.
True.
But,
discussion. I think you can't start any discussion about Luke Cage season 2 without just jumping right into fucking Bushmaster.
Fucking Mustafa Shakir.
Yeah, really good performance.
He ends up becoming sympathetic.
Yes. Yeah, really, really good at
it's just Killmonger level
fucking
good.
Intimidating in the beginning, and then actually someone you root for by the end of it.
Yeah.
The writing on him is a little weird. He doesn't necessarily need to be that fucking evil in the beginning.
Yeah.
But his presence alone carries it. I think he was great. And again, adding that Jamaican flair to an already African American inspired show and culture infused show, it just adds another layer to Harlem that I didn't think existed. As someone that's never been to New York,
and I love seeing more than Harlem. Like, we were in Brooklyn, we were in Queens, and it was just another niche, another sub community within that community. And man, you see that shit all the time. I remember living up there. Just Jamaican restaurants are everywhere.
Some of my favorite stuff was when Bushmaster, like towards the second half of the season, when Bushmaster and Luke Cage had to be partners and had conversations with each other.
Yes,
like, some of that stuff is the best. Like when Luke Cage is having to partner with Mariah Dillard in the beginning, and then Luke Cage, and then Bushmaster. I think that works really well.
You're just like me, man. And he's like, I'm nothing like you. But I did love Luke's caught in the middle, behind, and they both have
pleasure me no not to kill. It's gonna give me no pleasure to kill you, man.
I love how he's caught because
I love hearing Anthony's.
He's doing this, yeah.
You could have been brethren.
It's me,
Brethren.
it's me birthright.
It's my birthright.
It's me
so
birthright.
good. I love how he's caught between them, and sometimes he's protecting Mariah. Sometimes
I
he's
love
protecting people from Mariah. Like, whoa, shit, he's caught in the middle. But
That's great about this character. See, like we're quoting him.
yeah, oh, he's
We're
so
like
good.
doing him.
Yeah.
We're like, that's a good villain.
He left
when you
an
come
impression.
out, yeah, when you come out and you're like, that dude affected me, where I could like remember what he said and what he's doing and what we want to like talk like him. It's fucking cool. So they did a great job, and not only that, but the way he fought,
Dude,
it was very, very dynamic.
like capoeira style, roundhouse kicks and shit. That Bushmaster sucker punch at the end of the third episode, oh fuck, that was fucking great. And then how the video goes viral, and you kind of see Luke Cage fall from grace, and it was like a star athlete's career goes down in the tubes. Like, it's very cool how they did that, where once, I love how it opens, and he's a star, he's a celebrity, and there's an app to find him, and then just as quickly, fucking people turn on him because of this video that his own guy, like, put out, and he's like, oh, I gotta put the video out.
Well, he did dab in that video.
Okay, let's
so
talk
he had
about,
it coming.
I really wish he didn't dab.
No, but he should never have dabbed.
Dude,
I kind of liked it. The only reason I liked it is because he's a cheesy black guy.
Yeah, he's very cheesy and goofy, very charismatic. But anytime I see someone dab, my initial instinct is to punch them in the face. That's
Right,
all
yeah.
I feel. Like, instantly.
I think the same exact way.
Instantly. I want to mention the first episode was written by Chio
That
Hodari.
almost soured me on the show completely, by the way.
And that was
that
was at the end of the first episode. He fucking dabs and almost ruins it, which had a lot of action.
That's a testament to the show, though, because it recovered from the dab.
It kept going. Chio Coker wrote that first episode, and Lucy Liu directed the first episode.
Oh shit.
They had 6 women directors this season, almost half of them, and some of them women did these action-heavy episodes, and they were amazing. I thought the action was very good. Yeah. Well,
I think that's what, to me, I think, with the exception of Bushmaster,
yeah,
and that one scene that they did together, and then the one where they did with Iron Fist, like, the fighting in the show was subpar, and I think the reason for that is I think the guy who plays Luke Cage can't move.
He's too big.
I don't think he's a fighter. I think he's not really like a very good fighter. I feel like that you watch when they do Bushmaster.
Yeah.
Like the camera's on him the whole time. You're seeing his moves.
He
Whenever you see Luke Cage, they're cutting around him. Trying to make him look like he's a badass.
Well, yeah.
So that weakens the show. And so when you have somebody in the show that can fight really well, it actually shines a light on how bad Luke Cage fights.
Yeah.
So I actually thought that it made Luke Cage look. This was not a great Luke Cage show. It was a great Stokes versus Bushmaster show.
That's what it was.
Yeah. That's what it was.
With Luke caught in the middle.
Luke Cage was incidental in his own show. He had absolutely no like real impact, except for like being a shield between the two every once in a while.
Well, his journey was like dealing with his anger and fame and reconciling with his dad and the forgiveness and redemption and dealing with his past. But the majority of it, you want to know more about this Stokes and McIver.
Yeah, for me, his storyline in the beginning, I'm like, why is Luke Cage just a jackass all of a sudden?
Yeah,
like, he acts like a fucking asshole to Claire in the beginning.
When he punches the hole in her wall, I was like, holy shit, dude. He did it.
But then when you go from there and you're dealing with the daddy issues, like, yeah, that's okay. But every MCU, every Marvel Netflix character has like some sort of parental issues.
Yeah.
So for me, that's not all that interesting. When you compare that though to Mariah Dillard and fucking embracing her inner gangster.
Yeah.
And Bushmaster, who's this new character that you kind of mysterious and has so much fucking swagger. Like, those two characters carried the show for me.
Yeah. Alfre Woodard, I thought, did a really good job.
She did a really good job.
At times, because you don't know if she's playing the guy or she's being sincere and all of a sudden she'll just turn and be fucking brutal. I was like, holy fuck, you don't know what she's gonna do.
Well,
next.
her character is basically in the beginning trying to be clean and
trying to go legit. Yeah.
Well, she's trying to hide the fact that at her fucking core, she is an evil motherfucker.
And she's trying to bury the past of what happened between Stokes and the MacGyvers.
Throughout this entire season, slowly getting peeled open till where by the end of it, you get her fucking core. And at her core, she is going to fucking burn a man alive and shoot him in the face.
Oh, dude, this is a Shakespearean turn of character, even to the point where she's hallucinating and seeing the Pete and Mabel and talking to them towards the end and just loses it. I thought that was like so Shakespeare character for a character to go down that path. There's two in the middle of the episode. I think it was episode 5 or 6. There's two conversations that I fucking thought were amazing. I was just like, wow. The first one, Shades and Comanche sitting back to back.
Oh, that was great.
At Pop's barbershop waiting for Luke. Wow. That was like revelation after revelation.
You guys catch that he was implying they had some sort of
they were gay together.
They were
Yeah,
they were.
See, I knew that before that he even had that.
Oh, really? I did not know
the
that.
way he looked at her every time that he was with Mariah.
He was jealous. Yeah,
I had to read a review, and then in the review they said that, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute.
I didn't
gotta
catch
rewatch
it
the scene
until that scene, but they totally talked about it. He talked about how, like, look, we do what you do on the inside. Doesn't change how I feel about you. But on the outside now, this is different. And Comanche's like, is it though, bro? Come on, like, why are you doing all this for Mariah? I was like, oh, wow, okay.
That was written really well.
Holy shit.
He goes, we are better than this.
Yes.
We had something.
And Shade's kind of caught in between because he does love Mariah, and he's the only one who has kind of a moral. He has moral ethics. He has standards. He has a code.
He
tries to stay by the code.
I gotta say, I hated Shades last season.
Theo Rossi, I love Theo Rossi in this.
I really enjoyed him this season. Go ahead.
It took me a while to warm to him this season, but I was like, by the end of it, I was like, okay, he didn't hurt the show that much. I felt like the first season, he really hurt the show.
I hated him in the first season.
Yeah. So he redeemed himself.
Yeah, I love
They gave some depth to that character that in the first season I didn't think was there.
They gave depth to
it's
so
still
many
the fucking
characters.
weirdest romance I've ever seen on TV.
Dude,
it's gross.
It's really disturbing, yes.
And you can tell that even both of them think it's gross because
so
every time
odd.
they kiss,
Yeah.
they never make out. They just like peck each other on the lips, and you could tell that neither of them really want to kiss each other.
That scene where the guy thought it was his aunt, and then they just start making out. I was like, "Oh, this is really disturbing." Like, I don't like them together.
I mean, there's old guys kissing young girls all the time.
Right? It's a double standard.
It's just the double standard. It's something that society's not used to. An older woman with a younger guy.
Yeah,
but she got balls. She had great lines like, "I will cut your balls off." And roll them like
I didn't
dice.
think it was sexy, but it didn't bother me.
Okay.
No, it's not sexy.
It actually made me uncomfortable. Maybe that says something about me, but
I think that may be the point of there. And then the other conversation, same in that later episode, is where Bushmaster and his uncle Anansi, where he's like, we came here as immigrants and we built a life and we're trying to, have a business, raise our family, and you're coming here to burn it down? And Bushmaster's like, nah, me want war. And he doesn't fucking listen. Like, I thought that immigrant perspective really very topical now.
They were throwing in ice. They were throwing in
there was an ice. Like, ice was evil too, and as they are.
They were throwing in the fact that by doing this, every Jamaican's going to get thrown in jail.
Yeah, you're going to bring heat on everyone, and Bushmaster didn't give a fuck. But I loved the conflict between people going.
He gave a fuck though towards the end once he realized the collateral damage.
Yeah. Once he saw what happened. Yeah. But the whole conflict of people are like, Bushmaster's right. Mariah needs to go. And, it takes a while for Luke
I like
to
the
see
fluctuation of, in the beginning, you're like, we need to protect Mariah. Bushmaster is fucking evil. And then at the second half, you're like, wow, Bushmaster's correct.
Yeah,
we need to get Mariah out here. And then by the end of it, you're like, I don't know what the fuck I want anymore.
Yeah, so good. Well, really well done. Let's talk about another standout character player. Fucking Simone Missick as Misty Knight, I thought did a great job. The only good thing to come out of Defenders was her losing her arm, because I love that whole thing. Her trying to figure out what to do, getting used to her arm. The bar fight with Colleen, where it's Little Daughters of the Dragon Tees, and Colleen's not even helping in the beginning. She's just like, you got this. Let me see how you figure this out. I was like, that's dope. You should have a show by the two of them together.
I feel like they always write her character to be the one that gets the information last.
That is true. She's always chasing behind everything.
She's always a step behind on everything.
Yeah. The one thing is like, I buy Misty Knight as a cop.
Yeah.
I don't buy her as a superhero, and I don't buy her as a superhero with a bionic arm. And it doesn't help that there was no build up to her getting the bionic arm at all. There was nothing. She just showed up, and then the next day she has it.
There was they sent it was in the box.
That should have been like that should have been like a 3-episode thing or a 2-episode thing, where they cut back to her with the arm and like getting it or whatever. Like, I don't know. It just seemed like so tacked on. Like, okay, she just has a bionic arm.
Yeah, but
now,
she didn't get it till like the 5th episode. Like so they could have given it to her right away, and they didn't do that. They let her.
Yeah, but they just gave it to her.
Well, Danny Rand
she just shows up to work with, and no one even acknowledges that she's got this crazy fucking technological crazy
Some people did. I wish they did a little bit more with the bionic arm. Like, I think thought she would figure it out or throw more people through the wall.
I don't know. It was really like, to me. Listen, after you watch Altered Carbon, and that girl gets a fucking bionic arm,
she uses it well.
That shit was fucking like that. When you set a standard, there you go.
Well, this is Danny Rand's shitty company. They don't know what they're doing. They're not very good at making
I had
bionic
another
arms.
comment on Misty Knight.
Yeah.
And I think I wrote this down, but in the beginning, when the police, like when she is in the police force, maybe this is something we didn't see in the first season.
Yeah,
but. Was she just a huge fucking bitch? Because everyone talks to her and makes fun of her fucking arm, and I'm like, who are these people?
Why are they so
what
mean?
coworkers are so mean like this?
Making arm
This
jokes.
girl lost her fucking arm in doing her job, and everyone's snickering and making arm jokes.
Need a
I'm like,
hand.
what kind of workplace is this?
You know what it was?
It didn't register as real for me.
What about her basketball rival being the bad
Being the
guy?
other detective, it's like, yeah, that's real fucking convenient.
I think the thing we were forgetting is that the scarf situation is still left a bad taste in everyone's mouth, you know. And so she's dealing with that. She's dealing with fucking having scarf fuck her shit up.
The arm jokes are like,
It's like,
what?
That's brutal.
Like these people, the cops sounded like the fucking criminals at points with the way they were talking about her fucking arm.
Yeah,
they were pretty harsh.
I don't know. That kind of threw me. That and Luke Cage is just being so mean to Claire in the beginning. I'm just like, what happened? Why are you so angry all of a sudden?
That was like just an excuse to get her.
Why are your daddy issues coming out right now?
That's some forced writing right there.
Yeah.
A little bit. I love how though he would just bop people on the head and knock them out. Like that was kind of funny. Where he could just be like, boop, and then they just go down. Now, it doesn't make for an exciting superhero show when you have a guy that does that, but it is funny. And you see that he's holding back, and he knows how, strong he is.
Goes back to just my overall issue with the character, but he is just so overpowered that it's tough. It's tough to be excited when he walks into a scene and he's fighting normal people.
Well, if he does, this is the thing. He's kind of like a Superman where he has all this power, but he can't use it because he'll kill people.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
But if they power him down enough, because I don't think he's as powerful as Superman where he lift a building or anything like that. But I don't know. They could make it exciting just to make it exciting to watch to some degree. I don't know. It's like,
well, the thing is they keep doing he walks in and everyone's firing bullets at him. And I know they acknowledge that he's like, oh, everyone thinks it's a myth, but that gets old because he's just getting bullets fired at him and he's just doing the same thing where he's just tossing guys around. At least with Superman, the man can fucking fly. The man can shoot lasers out of his eyes. There's just more dynamicism to his power set, whereas Luke Cage is just a dude getting shot at, throwing people around.
If you're creative, you can think of cool stuff to do.
They just didn't have a lot.
Dude, even in that last episode where they're shooting at him, even I rolled my eye. I was like, really? Like, nobody heard yet? Like, this is Luke Cage. Like, why are you shooting at him? But then he does make the one joke where he's like, everybody's got to try it just to make sure.
Yeah.
But it gets old. I'm like, you haven't heard? He's fucking bulletproof. What do you think about the Danny Rand episode 10 cameo? I thought this was the best use of Danny Rand we've seen so far. It actually worked. He wasn't annoying. And the patty cake, that was great. Fucking combo move.
I think for the first time they actually got Danny Rand right. And I hated fucking this guy. What's the actor's name?
Finn Jones.
Finn Jones. I thought he was terrible. I thought he was absolutely awful in the first season.
I think he's growing into this role.
Actually, are. I don't know if it's the writing. I think it actually is the writing.
It is the writing.
They're kind of getting a little more comfortable with him, and it's little things too, right?
Yeah.
So like he walks into the barbershop and they cut to him taking off his fucking shoes.
Yep. I love that.
Like, oh, that's Danny Rand.
Yeah.
Or when he's sitting Indian style in the
right
fucking
on the
chair, you're just
Yeah.
like Danny Rand right
Yeah.
there. Or even when he's at the fucking pipe shop.
That was
he's like,
great. He's like, I like this one. He's like, you
and it's the
smoke?
fucking dragon. And he's implying that he smokes all the time.
I
It's
was
like,
like, fucking Danny Rand
all right,
gets
they're
high.
nailing Danny Rand.
Yeah, he gets stoned and fucking centers his chi. I love how like he was teaching Luke how to center himself, and Luke was kind of like teaching him.
Even
fucking
his
hard
outfit
lessons.
was Danny Rand. He's got the unbuttoned shirt with the Henley underneath.
Looks very comfortable.
Very relaxed.
Yeah.
He's to nail Danny Rand. You got to do a couple things, but you got to have this guy just be completely chill, just a fucking stoner. That's why, like, I didn't understand in the first season why
he's so uptight all the time,
uptight and such a fucking brat. Like, the dude's chill as fuck.
This is
He's
definitely
hanging
the
out.
writing. This is better writing.
And Rug Boy mentioned this earlier, but they finally had a good fight scene with him where they didn't do a million fucking cuts.
Yep.
He was actually doing a little bit of karate or whatever.
Can I mention the other badass thing? That scene, anytime they fight and they play fucking Wu-Tang, I'm like, this is the best show ever. Come on. You got Power Man and Iron Fist fighting to Wu-Tang. It's fucking sick.
Show ever.
It is. I love it. And I love DW goes, Power Man and Iron Fist. I should put that on a shirt. I was like, yeah, he said it. Geek Boner.
Geek Boner.
I mean, Iron Fist, and I like that he's a hip-hop fan.
Yes, he is a hip-hop fan. That's right. That's all he had on his fucking...
You don't like the Chronic?
That's all he had on his iPod. So, fun stuff.
They finally got him right, and I was pleasantly surprised. I don't understand why he left after one episode.
I know.
Yeah, that's
He
weird.
could have used his help. Why didn't you stick around
Like
to help?
Foggy's gone, Foggy comes in, Foggy
Right.
leaves.
Yeah.
Well, the thing, too, is like he was there because Claire wanted him to check on him. Danny Rand learns that Luke's dealing with some shit. So then why the fuck does he leave after one episode?
Everyone leaves. Claire leaves. Colleen's gone.
Yeah, no, but Claire left because Luke
he
Cage
punched
punched
the hole in the wall.
What was the excuse for why Iron Fist left?
Colleen could have helped out. Why she? I don't know. Danny's like, I got
makes an appearance and leaves.
And he's like, I got some shit to do. You got this? I'm out.
Here, let me bring up the writing.
Okay.
'Cause Rug Boy mentioned this, and I very much agree. Obviously, these episodes, there's too many of them.
Yeah.
And you pointed this out too, but there's too many episodes where they're spinning their wheels, where they're literally retelling you what happened in prior fucking episodes.
There's a lot of exposition. Yes.
But it's exposition dumps of things we've already seen or know.
Yes.
It's characters learning about things that we knew about in prior episodes.
You have examples?
The fucking scene in Jamaica.
Yeah. Did we need to see his?
Did we need to see that? You told us that story.
That was
either
like,
don't tell us that story or save that for the fucking episode when they're in Jamaica,
or show that
Yeah,
earlier.
I'd rather see it one time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you also had the fucking Shades confessions.
Yeah.
Did we need to have him tell us?
He recaps the whole first season.
Recap the first season for us.
But I love that scene because the way Simone
love that?
I love the way Simone Misty Knight reacted. He's bringing all this back, and she didn't know. He finally, when he reveals that I used your phone to call Candace and popped her in the head, she fucking loses it and has to walk out. I was like, that's fucking powerful shit. He's just fucking telling her. So I kind of like that. But yeah, it was a recap of the first season.
And there was I didn't. Those are the two I wrote down. But
They did
there
it a
were
lot.
other times too.
They did
where I
it
was
a
like,
lot.
You're telling us things we already knew.
Yeah.
I don't know. It can be written a lot better.
Oh, I think they got to pad it out to 13 for some
They're
reason.
Definitely 13 is way too many for them.
That whole
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They could have been more. There was things that they could have built up better.
Right. Another great moment was when Shades does catch Comanche meeting with Ridenhour.
Yeah, that was tough.
That was fucking. I didn't know what was going to happen, and man, and to Shades to shoot his buddy and stick
lover.
to his coat, his lover. I was like, fuck, dude, this guy don't fuck around.
They did a good job adding some depth to Shades that I didn't think was
A
there.
lot of the characters. Let's talk about Tilda Johnson, Mariah's daughter. She's kind of being set up to be the character known as Nightshade,
Right.
from the comics.
Nightshade is how Bushmaster gets his fucking power.
And Nightshade is the thing that gives him his powers. I thought I really liked her character, and I thought she was a great addition, getting caught in the middle. But the fucking scene when they're hiding out in the Rand building, and Mariah just tells her the truth. They tease it early on, that Tilda doesn't know who her father is or what her real age is. And she's a fucking Uncle Pete rape baby.
Oh, shit.
Holy fuck. I was like, Mariah is a monster. She goes, that's why I never wanted you. Your face reminded me of Pete every time. Wow.
That's crazy,
that
right?
was
That was a good.
amazing.
That was a good twist.
I did not expect her to just come out and say
And
that.
I mean, I don't mean to like side with Mariah, but I see her point.
Kind of like
this is the daughter that I never wanted. That my uncle fucking raped me.
What
with.
do you do with it when that happens? Oh, it's so rough. And Tilda is so like she's smart, she's accomplished, she's a good person, and I loved her kind of figuring out her mom is a monster. And
The thing too about her is she is also finding out that she is a Stokes as well, and by the end of this, she is learning that there's some fucking evil in her heart as well.
Stokes, Mariah Stokes.
So she becomes Nightshade, right?
She'll probably become Nightshade.
Isn't that like a werewolf type shit?
She used to control werewolves with like some herb or something. Is one, and she wears like a really sexy, not a lot of clothes costume. But the link at the end when she had the two buttons in the back of her head when her hair was up, that's what Nightshade kind of looks like. So look. Let's get to that last episode because this season like resolves things halfway and then it resolves it again by the 12th episode to the point where Bushmaster he gets beat down and he just fucking leaves. I mean,
That was weird.
That was weird. I'm glad they didn't kill him, but I was like, wait, you just fucking going? That's it?
Let me comment on that real quick.
Yeah.
Him fucking leaving like that was so out of character. I just didn't understand. I know he needs to heal, and I know he needs to go back to Jamaica and get that Nightshade, but you had built him up this entire time as this fucking Terminator.
Yeah,
like he was
unstoppable force.
So determined to do this thing, and I don't know if he knows that Mariah is dead.
Yeah.
I don't understand why he would leave like that.
The whole time, all he wanted to do is what
I think he is the type of character that I would. With his last fucking breath, he'd be crawling towards Mariah Dillard trying to kill her.
So there's a couple of things that I didn't understand when I look back. Like, if he wanted to kill Mariah Dillard, he set her house on fire kind of as retribution for what happened to his mom. They set her house on fire. But why wouldn't you stay to make sure she was dead? Like, why would you just leave? And then he just leaves at the end when the whole time he's like, I just want to watch Mariah die. And he's like, I'm fucking over it. I'm out. So that was weird. The other weird writing thing, and it was strictly to get a person from point A to point B, and I thought it was clunky as fuck, was when Luke Cage has Piranha, and all he has to do is turn him into the police, right? That's all he has to do. But he takes him to his dad in the church, and then he calls fucking Bushmaster for a duel? Like, was that really necessary?
So stupid.
And of course, that leads to Piranha escaping and getting caught and getting killed and beheaded. I was like, you just said, I got to take you to the cops. What are you doing? Why would you do this?
Yeah, some clunky ass.
It was just clearly to connect, to get him from here, to get Piranha from here to here and here to here.
How did you get from the last episode back to that?
I don't know. I just thought of two things that bugged me. Let's go back to the last episode because the episode before, everything gets kind of resolved. Mariah gets arrested. Shades, he confesses everything. He gets her the gun. There's the big fight.
I liked how this started off, too, because I liked that, like, Mariah gets arrested and you're like, oh, this is good.
This is it.
Harlem,
they got her.
They got her.
They fucking
and then
got
Harlem,
her.
She is the fucking gatekeeper, and now Harlem is in disarray. I liked that start.
And then there's a power vacuum, and it's fucking dangerous as fuck
worse.
outside. It's worse because nobody is controlling it. So the last episode...
This is the last episode.
Yes. First of all, the scenes in the prison with Mariah and everyone stabbing everyone else, that was fucking shocking. I didn't see any of that shit coming. I was like, God damn, she is, and the way she called herself Black Mariah and fully embraces it was great. And then the minute I saw Tilda mixing that red shit and it said Beso de Araña, I was like, oh, I know what she's going to do. That's the spider's kiss. That's who's taking her down. And I was kind of okay with Tilda actually getting the kill on Black
Would she
Mariah.
kill her own mother, though, because her mom just didn't want her?
Her mom is a fucking monster. Yes,
Okay.
I'm totally on board with that. And I liked how she got pissed that Mariah left Harlem's paradise in her will to Luke, specifically to piss her off, probably, more than anything, and to give Luke a problem. Like, what do you do now? Here, you're in charge.
Well, no, I think they wrote it out the way they spelled it out for it. I don't think it was necessarily that, although there could have been. It was more that she realized that Luke, even though they both hate each other, they both love Harlem so much that he's the only one that can run this place.
There is no one else.
But
wow.
So by the end
real quick,
of it,
I just want to go back to Bushmaster before we get to the end of what we're really going to talk about. But I also would have liked, just not only that he left, but even if he's not the one to kill Mariah, I wanted to at least see his reaction to that too.
Yeah, he doesn't now. He
we
doesn't
have
know.
nothing. I thought that would have even been interesting. This whole season, you're looking to kill this one person, and you don't kill her. Someone else does. How does he react to that? Is he happy? Is he sad? Is he like, fuck, I got to kill this person now too?
I would have liked to see that. Think how crazy it was. He had all her money at one time, and then it got all taken back to her. She lost everything and got it back and gets killed by her daughter. But yeah, I just thought his exit was very weird. So Luke has this decision. She's left me the club. Do I take over? Can I make a difference? And it's weird the way they cut it because he says no. And then it cuts to him in a nice fucking suit standing in front of the Biggie Smalls photo while there's a musical performance going on. And he is the new king of Harlem. But some of this makes sense. To stop crime, to control crime, you kind of have to be the head of the crime. Can you do it as a vigilante by not controlling it? Because the power vacuum is not going to work. But how much is he going to? I mean, he tells Claire to leave at the end. I was like, "Fuck, dude, he's not. He's not
didn't have enough
I think it's going to be a swerve.
Yeah,
that they leave you thinking he's going to be this, but he's going to kind of use it to do good, and he's going to be legit.
I think it would be neat if he uses it as a front for Heroes for Hire business, and then they do kind of a spin-off Heroes for Hire. But and there's no confirmation of a third season, so. What a crazy place to end this. I was ballsy, and everyone kept talking about this crazy ending. And yeah, it was a fucking crazy ending.
Yeah, the ending kind of really, it's one of those things because I know you guys don't feel the same way, but I felt that Mariah's character swerved a little bit too much.
A lot back and forth.
Because she went from going to Shades going, we're going to be legit. We're going to finally take our name out of the mud. We all come from crime, but now we're going to actually be clean and have clean money and be able to live the clean life. And all of a sudden, in one instance, Bushmaster comes on the scene and she just goes the opposite direction all the way.
Mm-hmm.
So, she clearly was always looking out for herself and using her daughter for her campaign and all this other stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But for her to go the opposite direction and start fucking murking people and setting them on fire and everything, I thought that swerve was a little drastic, considering what this whole thing that they built up for her going clean.
I saw it as
they should have left a little bit of she didn't really want to go clean. She didn't really. Yeah. I don't know if she was because, for example, I can understand her telling her daughter that she wants to go clean, or that she's being legit. But Shades, they're both criminals, so why they could. They don't have to bullshit with each other and lie to each other about what they're doing.
I mean, that's why I like Mariah, because you couldn't really get a read on her, and I think that darkness was always there, and she just you see her snap.
It's definitely there, but I just felt like it was. You can't just spend 3 episodes explaining how you're going clean, and then all of a sudden in 2 episodes you're fucking crazy and seeing shit in your office. I don't think it was that quick. I mean, look, when you see heads on a spike when you're not expecting, you're gonna start to fucking snap. Maybe that Bushmaster jarred her out of her thing. Her money getting taken away. Maybe she was at the bottom of the bottom that she's ever been, and then she was just like, "Fuck it." That's the thing. If you have this lawyer that fucking fixes everything for you, wouldn't it be the first thing he'd tell you that we're getting the money back? He can't really do that. No, because he took off because he realized he didn't have any money. He's like, I'm out. You're poor now. I don't know.
I kind of saw it as I mentioned earlier the Mariah kind of just embracing her inner nastiness, but also saw it as once the heads came on the stake, she saw it as escalation. Oh shit, I'm dealing with a motherfucker here. I gotta up my game a little bit. So that's the way I kind of saw it.
She just went into protective mode and then just went crazy.
Yeah,
she snapped. I'm telling you, it was she fucking
heads on a stake, bruh.
Yeah, that'll do it.
I got to comment on the Luke Cage getting to where he's at.
Yeah.
So if you look at this on paper,
yeah,
it kind of makes sense. Like throughout the entire season, he's trying to do the right thing. He's trying to stop the bad guys by going the conventional route, and it's obviously not working.
Yep.
And he doesn't know what to do. So the best way to stop this is to actually get in and run the fucking gangs himself. Makes sense on paper.
Yeah.
That being said, I didn't buy it. I didn't like it.
It's very out of character.
I just felt this is not Luke Cage. Like, this is not the guy. For me, Luke Cage is Harlem's Captain America.
Yeah.
And that's why I really enjoyed in the season when he was just doing the right thing, and that meant protecting this villain at one moment and protecting this villain because no one can die under his watch. He's protecting everybody. I enjoyed that. That was, for me, the most interesting parts with Luke Cage. For him to now be like running the underground scene and wearing a suit, I don't know.
Yeah, how are you going to do that?
Yeah.
Really?
And be Luke Cage.
You have to be willing to kill.
Yeah.
To keep people in check, right?
I just didn't believe it. I didn't think that's where he would go.
I liked how they showed
it happened
us
too fast for me.
It was a fucking like out of left field fucking turn. But I do like how they showed us throughout the season that he was getting slightly more brutal. Some of these rules were going out the window. Like, he almost kills fucking Cockroach, and then he almost does Bushmaster like Superman did Zod in Man of Steel. Like, he's about to snap his fucking neck, and then he gets brutal when he's hunting down the gang, snapping that guy. When he was snapping that guy's fingers one at a time, I was like, oh, that looks really painful. I can't believe he's doing this. So he was slowly slipping, but then he jumps all the way to, I'm fucking Kingpin over here. It was like Kingpin from the Daredevil
It was
movie.
weird. It was just that last episode he's in and he's just breaking dudes' fingers.
Yeah.
I'm like, where did this come from?
He's gotten to that point. He's like, I can't be the nice guy. No more Mr. Nice Guy.
I just didn't buy it. I didn't buy that he would ever become that guy.
It's a stretch. It is quite a jump to take.
It's a convenient way to get Nightshade to hate him and what.
Yes, so that's setting up whatever next they're gonna do.
But even that too, I was like, wait, Nightshade, why would you think you were getting the club? She fucking hates you.
Yeah, she hated you the whole time. Why would you think you get anything?
I mean,
from her?
I know Luke is an oddball choice too, but like, I don't know. Whole last half of that third the final episode.
That last episode was fucking weird and nuts. The whole thing. But
it seemed like to me they're like, by the third season we want to get Luke in a place where it is completely different. And they hot shotted that.
Yeah, they got
him to that place. He is in a completely different place. But it's like, wait, does this even make sense with the character now?
So I read that the Chio Hodari Coker was kind of inspired by the Daredevil storyline Shadowland, which Matt Murdock and Daredevil kind of takes over the gang families in the Shadowland and runs it. And maybe could they do a thing where he is the villain next season of his own show because he's gone that far in deep when he was just trying to keep an eye on things. I don't know. It could be interesting.
I think that's terrible for the stereotype.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's that you can only survive if you're doing crime.
If you're running it, yeah.
You know, I think that's terrible. I think that, I mean, it has to be a swerve. It has to be a swerve.
Because
I didn't even think
it has
of
to
that.
be more than meets the eye.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that the stereotype is that you have to go bad.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a black show.
Yeah.
And if the lesson by the end of this is the only way to clean up the streets is to become a fucking gangsta, what is that? What kind of message is that?
Basically, this is what Luke Cage has to do. He's running Mariah's club.
Yeah.
Which that could be a legit business.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But Mariah was into the trafficking and the proliferation of weapons.
Yep.
That's number one.
He's running the guns now.
She was basically the gatekeeper for anything coming in and out. So drugs, prostitution, whatever, contraband, anything that was legit crime, she kind of was letting in and out. So now he's got to go and meet with the crime families and then basically let them do whatever they got to do or make a deal to what amount of shit that they can do.
As long as there's no violence or
he's
something.
Participating.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So that's weird.
Well, so
that's weird.
Could he have just shut down the club? Like, what else? What else do you do? Like, do you just take it and burn it
He could
down?
have run the club legitimately as a real business and made it like a beacon for the new Harlem.
Somebody's gonna take care of the crime.
I'm interested
still.
to see where it goes.
Yeah.
I just didn't feel like I didn't feel comfortable with how that ended.
Yeah, I was like,
that makes any sense.
The thing is like, how do you inherit what Mariah just because he has the club too? That's another question.
Right. Well, he has Mariah, or he has the club, and he has
audience with the mafia.
Right. He has that, and he also has the big guy.
Oh, Sugar is with him. Yeah.
So Sugar has his head on the streets.
I love how DW at the end was like, "Yo, you can't do this from here. Pops is Switzerland. We got to stay neutral." And then they're like, "All right, well, we're gonna go conduct business elsewhere." They keep Pops neutral.
I mean, the whole
crazy.
season 2, they kept teasing the hero for hire thing.
Yeah, twice. I thought they would do that more.
I thought they were going that route, and then they went this route. So, I guess it's a swerve. So I was surprised.
Yeah,
but
what a crazy last episode. I want to talk about the music a little bit because,
of course, you do.
I fucking love the music. Now I can see how some people would be annoyed by the amount of musical performances in this because it does seem like filler. But man, I thought they mixed in, it turned into like a narrative music video.
Well, you had Rakim do a fucking Luke Cage song.
That was fucking great. So episode 1 had a artist named Joy. Episode 2, D Nice was in the first season. D Nice is awesome. My name is D Nice. Used to be in Boogie Down Productions. And then Gary Clark Jr. was playing blues in the second episode. That guy was fucking sick.
He's amazing.
He's amazing. Episode 3 had Esperanza Spalding, who she plays an upright bass, and she's like some prodigy, really young. Episode 4, the big dude playing the blues is Kingfish, Christone Kingfish Ingram. He is an 18-year-old blues prodigy. And his versions of I Put a Spell on You and Thrilling's Gone was fucking amazing. This is so good.
Great.
Oh, my God.
Great.
And then you have to have the mandatory Wu-Tang appearance, Ghostface Killer, episode 5. Method
Killer?
Man.
What are you, fucking white guy?
Ghostface Killer. I said Killer. Method Man was in the first one. Episode 7, you even have a fucking Marley.
Oh, shit.
Stephen Marley making an appearance. And I love the Marleys. I love that there's 20 Marley kids and they all play reggae. And I just want to know.
They're good. I was really liking
dude,
that.
All the Marleys are super talented. But I bet there's one Marley that like doesn't want to play music and they all just give him shit. Like he just wants to be like an accountant or something. He's just like, me don't want to play music, man.
My name is Farley Marley.
My name is Farley. Me want to work in a bank in an office. And they're like, oh, you stupid Marley. And just give him shit because he doesn't want to be a musician or get stoned. Episode 10, Faith Evans and Jadakiss. That's a good throwback fucking...
Wasn't Maze in one of these?
Maze? No. Mace?
Wasn't he in the one with what's her name? Not Jadakiss.
Faith Evans?
Faith Evans? Wow.
Possibly. I don't know.
Maybe not. I thought I heard him, but maybe that wasn't him.
And then the last 2 episodes, some fucking awesome old school artist, KRS-One from Boogie Down Productions, doing old school classic Love's Gonna Get You. And then Rakim made a fucking Luke Cage song.
Oh, shit.
It's kind of cheesy, but I enjoyed it. I was like, is that Rakim? Holy shit.
I'll give them a lot of credit. The songs and the live performances give this show a flavor that feels different than a lot of stuff I watch on TV. I've never seen a show like that.
Yeah,
did you like the blaxploitation theme song running through the whole show?
I love that.
I did.
I love that. I think that added a little element that the first season didn't have. Anytime they were having like a dramatic conversation, you had kind of the score behind it, and it just turned it into like something else.
Shit.
Yes, it was so good.
I like when they lean into the blaxploitation.
It works for this. It really works for this. So, a couple of questions I had. I think we've discussed some of these already. Will Tilda be a villain? Will she become Nightshade? Probably.
Yeah.
Probably what they're doing. There's other big bads. The other options for him, there's a character called Gideon Mace. He's like a evil Punisher with a mace for a hand. Sounds hilarious. And Moses Magnum, who's a weapons manufacturer with evil global plans. So
don't know enough about Luke Cage.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how many more bad guys they can pull out for Luke. And then again, I want to see a Daughters of the Dragon.
Bushmaster's not dead, man.
Bushmaster is not dead. I love that. I would love to see him come back. Do Heroes for Hire. Do a Daughters of the Dragon spinoff.
I'm more of a fan of the Heroes for Hire spinoff personally, but I wouldn't be opposed to a Daughters of the Dragon.
I mean, we'll be getting a second season of Irony Fist. with a new showrunner. So hopefully they can write him
What
better.
this show did is it actually made me a little more excited for Iron Fist.
Right? Yeah, I want to see these two guys interact more because it wasn't annoying and it was written well.
Yeah. Overall, I like the show. There's the show definitely has some problems. It's not as good as like I said, some of the other Netflix stuff, but
all right, well, Anthony,
there's a lot of flavor.
Let's rank it, rate it, score it. Where would you put this amongst the seasons? So we have 2 seasons of Daredevil, 2 seasons of Jessica Jones, 2 seasons of Luke Cage, and a season each of Iron Fist, Defenders, and Punisher. Let's not forget Bernthal's Punisher. It's tough.
I have it in the 4 or 5 range.
Yeah.
So I have the first 2 Daredevil seasons being better. The first season of Jessica Jones being better.
Yeah.
Oof.
It gets hard.
I think it's on par with like season 2 of Jessica Jones, Punisher.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe a little worse than that just because of the writing. But around that level.
Okay, that's interesting. So like middle top-ish.
Middle top-ish.
I don't know what that means. middle. Rugs.
Or middle.
Where'd you put this?
Let's see. I will put this Daredevil season 1 is my favorite.
Okay.
Jessica Jones season 1 is my second favorite. Daredevil season 2 is my third. Punisher, then Luke Cage season 2, then Luke Cage, then Defenders, then Iron Fist.
Okay. What about Jessica Jones season 2?
That's somewhere like I think that's right before Luke Cage season 2. I think I like Luke Cage season 2 better. Than Jessica Jones.
Yeah, I would go with that too. I liked Luke Cage season 2 better, but when I thought about the themes of Jessica Jones season 2, I'm like, oh, they were going for a little more there.
There was big themes in this one too, though, but that one was a little more. Yeah, I mean that's hard. I'm with you in the sense that my first favorite is Daredevil season 1, and then Jessica Jones season 1 with Kilgrave.
They're both like it's weird because Jessica Jones and Luke Cage they have no action in them.
Right.
None.
And they all depend on the character performances.
Yeah, and they pull it off.
And I really think that the only real big character in Jessica Jones was the mom. And I'll take Bushmaster over the mom any day.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I'll agree.
So, and then you have the other big character was the Patsy.
Yeah.
And she was like, she was okay.
I mean, I think
she wasn't great.
This season has 2 really strong villains too, and I think it's handled very well, which is something.
The alternating villains was a nice choice.
They did a good job.
Instead of doing a half a season with one villain, half the other, they learned their lesson.
Yes, they definitely learned their lesson from. I mean, it's better than the first season. I think it's like 3rd or 4th for me on this list, tied with I think maybe below the Punisher. God, it's so hard.
I still think that they need to cut these things down to 10 episodes and spend more money on each episode to make the fight scenes better and the action better.
I agree. And I don't know why they think they need 13 episodes.
Tighten it up. Stop spinning the wheels.
Like, this could have been a really, like, with a few things cut, all the stuff we said, this would have been an amazing fucking season. It was teetering on a really, really amazing season. Still very good. Better than the first, but... a little of these filler things.
Do you guys enjoy that Luke Cage is basically a superhero, but not really, stuck in a black exploitation?
I love it. I love it.
Season.
I like it.
You like it?
I mean the hip hop and the superhero, the Marvel stuff together. Like I think it works. I think Chio's got this amazing style that lends itself to Luke Cage very well, and I'm okay that it's not like a superhero show. I would love it to be more like a Spike Lee or a John Singleton kind of thing.
The only thing I'd say is I agree. I like that they lean into it. I like the diversity of not just making it a superhero show. The only problem for me is, other than the Iron Fist one, when the fight scenes come on and I'm not excited, that's kind of a problem.
Yeah,
you can't. I mean, it's just one of those things that when you have something that's great, like a power or something, you need to capitalize on that. You need to really. That's what's going to... There's a million shows about crime. Watch The Sopranos. You can watch The Wire.
That's a good point. This reminded me a little bit of like The Wire-y kind of stuff.
So what are we doing
What
here?
is extra special about it?
Basically, Ray Donovan kicks about as much ass as Luke Cage, and he doesn't have any powers.
Good point.
You know what I mean? So it's like... And the fight scenes in Ray Donovan are shorter and not as whatever, but like... he's still like, I'm like, he's a fucking badass. He's the same way, and he's not even he's not even bulletproof or can't lift shit and throw shit around like Luke. So you got to maximize that. You got to be able to make it count.
Anthony, did you appreciate the sports cameos there? Like the Stephen A. Smith and the NFL dude?
I got to point out.
Yeah.
Fucking Comanche. Do you guys know who that is?
Well, who is that? That's a football player.
That's a former football player that played a long career in the NFL. That's Thomas Jones. He played for the...
Tom Jones is in this?
Not Tom Jones. Thomas Jones.
Wait, he
played for the Bears, played for the New York Jets.
He was in the first season? Was he? He was in the first season.
Briefly, but he's an ex-football, like a legit, like he was one of the best running backs of his
time. That is surprising because that was an amazing performance by an ex-football player then.
It's not unusual to have sex with the guy in prison.
Oh, shit. I mean, I can't believe a football player did that. That's amazing. He's very good. Also, you know who Simone Missick is married to in real life on the show?
Who?
Cockroach.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, she's married to Cockroach.
She hated that man on the show.
Yeah, his name is something Missick also.
You can't fake that.
You can't fake that shit.
You can't fake that anger.
Yeah. Fucking Cockroach.
Yeah, she probably pissed on the toilet.
Not the cockroach from the Cosby Show either. I wish it was that cockroach.
That was my cockroach.
I know, there's only one cockroach.
Yeah, that's the whole time I expected him to be coming in with fucking
Huxtable's
Theo.
friend. Well, that would have been great if they got him to actually play the character of Cockroach all old. Fucking hilarious. All right, we're going to get to the mailbag, but before we do, hey, you want a free month of Stitcher? We'll give you a free month of Stitcher Premium. Premium content. Go to Stitcher.com/premium. Use the promo code NERD. Before September 2018, you get a free month of Stitcher. Just for you, we have another pair of SpeakPipe messages from what's gotten to be like regular contributors on the show. Matt Miller, Louis Paz, every week. Send it in. We're going to start with Matt Miller's first. Here it is.
What's up, Jockstraps and Dweebs? Matthew James here with another quick installment. Went and saw AntMan and the Wasp on Saturday. You guys got that review in hella quickly. Wanted to touch on a couple things that you guys didn't mention or didn't deem important enough to mention. Probably the latter of the two, but anyways, here we go. Michael Douglas and Lawrence Fishburne's character mentioned they used to be in S.H.I.E.L.D. together back in the day, so that was pretty cool. Also, Rip Anthony from the first movie, where we got two new funny Ant names. We had Ulysses S. Grant and Antonio Banderas. I had two problems with this movie overall. Wasn't as funny as the first one, and when they found Janet Van Dyne in the quantum realm, she was wearing a weird cloak that she didn't have on before, so that was kind of strange. Pretty sure they don't have any thrift stores in the quantum realm, but I get it. It looked badass, so whatever. Post-credit scene with the snap from Infinity Wars leaving Ant-Man stuck in the quantum realm was awesome. I gasped out loud. Still don't know where Hawkeye is. My theory is he's in Vermont vacationing with his family. Speaking of Vermont, saw Super Troopers 2. The original cast was back in that one. This movie was a huge fart. Don't go see it. Had Fred Savage mentioned a couple times in a ride-along accident with the guys that killed him. That was kind of funny. Will Sasso was doing a horrible Canadian accent the whole time. Rob Lowe played a Canadian mayor who was tugging on a dude's pecker. Jim Gaffigan was back again doing the meow thing when he got pulled over, so that was awesome. Guys, want to know your thoughts on why sequels in seasons 2, 3, and 4 of shows usually don't live up to the hype as the first one or the original? Also, real quick, I heard a Gundam Wing movie live action is being made, so I want to know your thoughts on that. And also, the World Cup championship is set. We have France versus England in that, so let's go England. Awesome show, guys. See you later.
So there's a slight update. He guessed on the World Cup stuff and was wrong.
Yeah, Croatia.
Yeah, so it's going to be Croatia, France, and he's picking France for...
I'm going for the little guy right there. I'm going for
Croatia.
Croatia.
France had like a terrorist attack. They need something. Viva la France. They need something to, just like Vegas and the thing. It may be fixed to do that, but that's an interesting
matchup. What are you talking about?
I don't know. That's what somebody said was France could use they could use something uplifting after having the thing, whatever.
Okay.
France and Croatia. Why don't sequels work? It's a good question because we kind of just talked about.
Well, I'll tell you my thought on it is that initially when they make movies, they don't have any thoughts for sequels.
Right.
Sometimes they have it baked in a little bit where they're like being presumptuous and they think they're going to get a sequel and they leave that kind of ending open. But other than that, they're pretty much every movie's like a Hail Mary pass.
Right.
They don't know if they're going to ever,
Yep.
if it's going to connect with people, if they're going to get more movies. Now, Marvel can kind of start to think that way. They were thinking, okay, we're going to definitely have all these characters and we're going to interlink them together. So they're kind of like not really sequels, but they're related to each other. So they're able to do it better than most people, and even their sequels, like Winter Soldier, have been better than the first Captain America. And so there are times where sequels are better, but only when you have that kind of system in play. Like for the normal movie, like Ghostbusters, when it first came out, they never thought they were going to make a Ghostbusters 2.
Right.
They're just making Ghostbusters.
Right.
So a lot of those, like Robocop, they never thought they'd make a second Robocop. They just, let's see if this fucking sticks.
There are exceptions to the rule, like Aliens, Terminator 2.
Yeah.
Marvel's done a lot of superhero films are the sequels are better.
Yeah.
And that's because the
Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2 is another good example.
That's because the origin story they have to do that, and they can really start to play around with the character in the second one.
Yeah, The Dark Knight, that's another sequel.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But sometimes
let me jump onto that. So I don't think in general sequels usually don't work. I think that's kind of changing because as Rugby mentioned, a lot of movies are presumptuous in that they have these story arcs that are going to go over multiple films. So a lot of the sequels now are better. And there's exceptions that we pointed out. I think another thing about why sequels don't work in general is just number one. Remember the first time you fucked a hot girl?
Yeah.
Like that's awesome.
Wait, do I? Oh,
right?
yeah.
No, you don't. Shut up.
I'm sorry.
But like, it's the awe, it's the wonder of doing this the first time.
Never going to be like the first time.
It's never the first time.
No.
So even if you can have a sequel, the awe of seeing that thing for the first time and walking into that movie theater and not knowing what to expect, it can't be recreated.
I mean, this is how I feel about like the Deadpool movies. Like the first one was just, you can't recreate seeing that for the first time. Same thing kind of with Ant-Man. Same thing with Daredevil season 1. That fucking first season, man, when we had none of this, it's still like they got it right. Like it's still so special because
Jurassic Park.
There's another fucking example.
Well, here's another thing too: is a lot of times, as Rugboy mentioned, they don't have sequels in the plans.
No, they don't have the story for it, and they got.
So they're scrambling to make the sequel to put out. It's a money grab, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of times they fall into the trap of, well, let's just do more of the first movie except bigger, or let's just retell the first movie. Like for instance, Ghostbusters, that sequel is just the same exact movie as the first movie.
Yep.
It's just bigger.
Yep. Bigger.
Bigger. Like that's the thing. Or a lot of the sequels that fail, they're just falling in the trap of let's retell the first story and make it bigger.
Well, it's really tricky when the audience does expect something similar but also different. Like you're never going to please it. Like I want to see more of the same, but I want to see it in a different way. What does that mean?
Well, you want to see like a story that continues,
right?
But each installment has an ending.
Yeah, self-contained.
Because, like, think about it. In your life, you have events that end, like high school, college.
Yeah.
And then, marriages and fucking, then you die. All that stuff. But, like, there are things that happen that are self-contained. You could tell the story of that. And so, that kind of thinking happens in comics all the time, that serial way of thinking. That overextending arcs, these things that happen, these books like, Game of Thrones, these books that are all interrelated,
right,
but are still books that are self-contained stories. Harry Potter, all these things. Yeah. So there's a lot more of this stuff out there to kind of set the tone for people to think. So if the movie industry thinks in the same way, like books, for example, think, or comics think, then they can kind of make these sequels better.
It's a lot like they think more like the music industry. It's a lot. If you think about it, it's a lot like bands who like you got a band that's gigging. They take years to work up a set of songs. They get a record deal. They put out the first album. The first album is always really good. And then the record company's like, oh, we need another one next year. I know you took you 16 years to work on this one, but now make us another one. And sometimes the sophomore effort just doesn't fucking live up.
Well, yeah, because you're doing it because you have to do it, not because you want to do it. Right.
The more I think about these sequels thing, I think that's kind of an old trope. Why sequels don't work.
Oh, they're starting to work.
I think they are starting to work. I mean, you brought up the band comment, and I think a lot of great albums are when people fucking mature and they find out who they really are, and they release some cool shit that they didn't, like some off the wall shit that they were experimenting with.
Well, the way it should be is each album, like you get better and better,
right?
And you evolve, and you hope your audience comes with you.
This is a thing that you can't just expect anymore. Like you make a movie, right?
Yeah.
And back in the day, you made that movie. You didn't like line up the guy for 4 sequels in the contract.
Right.
You didn't line up the talent and the
One and
producers
done.
for that movie
Yeah.
in the contract. So like getting the same people to work on the movie, getting the gang back together to make the sequels.
Getting the chemistry back is damn near impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, look, the original Star Wars wasn't written to be a trilogy.
Nope.
I mean, in effect, I think George Lucas had it in
The
his
idea,
mind,
right. But
I don't think, because so many, like, the whole story started changing so much, and Luke ended up kissing his sister, then he didn't, and then they weren't getting, then Han Solo was getting in there. So, like, a lot of weird shit was going on. So, now they're thinking about it.
Yeah.
Now they're, like, locking these guys up for, like, contracts for whatever. They know that this can spin it into more story and more things. So I think the thinking has changed.
I think it is slowly changing, and I think we will see more sequels that are
sequels
better.
are like a flip of a coin.
Yeah.
They could either be
It's true.
great,
It's true,
or they could just be like a step below.
Absolutely.
The first.
All right, here's the next voicemail. Lewis, pause.
Hey guys, I wanted to touch base on the whole topic of toxic fandom and your opinion sucks and why did you review this movie this way? You shouldn't review movies this way. Blah 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 blah. Because I find it really interesting, and I agree with Rug Boy and how movies are a product, and especially if you're adapting a story that was already told once before. The movies definitely need to be held to a certain standard. But then my question is, what is the golden standard? Which movie set the bar that should be used as a reference to hold other movies to a certain standard? That's my question to you guys. What's the golden standard?
That's a good question, Lewis.
That's a hard to answer question,
Very
but I'm
hard
going
to
to try
answer.
my darndest.
All right.
You try.
All right. Basically, standards change as every movie comes out.
Correct.
So, for example, Jurassic Park. It set the standard for what a dinosaur movie is, for what a dinosaur should look like. So now, if you go and you watch another movie that has dinosaurs in it, and they're not as good as the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park, they've already kind of missed the standard. All right. Basically, comic book movies were thought of to be these cheesy movies, and then you get Batman Begins, that kind of sets a standard of like you can do a realistic Batman, where Batman you don't even see him barely fight in the movie. You can make Batman scary, you can make him, but you could ground it in reality. So that sets that standard. Like so, every time that something comes and raises the bar, now you can't just do something underneath that without people noticing it.
So the standard does get moved.
Yeah, there's things that, like, for example, like it used to be the standard that people used to talk like, when they were bad guys. And then, like, it was like this stilted dialogue.
Yeah.
If you watch these old movies, it wasn't natural. So now, like, the standard became, okay, more natural way of speaking now, more natural mannerisms. So all the standards keep going. So, like, you could take a movie, let's say, like, The Matrix, all right? It set a standard for, number one, camera movements and like slowing down, slowing things down and speeding things up and bullet time and moving a camera around, having kung fu, like wire kung fu in a Hollywood movie. All of that shit set the standard for how crazy and complex you can get a story scientifically and still be popcorn. Like all of these things were set into that standard, and then all of a sudden, a lot of people were making Matrix rip-off movies. So you could see the standards always being top. So when we talk about, let's say, Batman versus Superman,
okay,
all right, the standard for like they didn't really do anything under the standard of like visuals. All right, they were pretty much on the bar, in the area of visually being stylistic
like it
enough.
should look. Yes.
Yeah. But the idea of what we want from a story was substandard.
Yeah.
What the viewer would take as bullshit was below standard. Like the viewer is now knows more about Superman and Batman than they've ever known before. All right. Because Batman is proliferated the animated series and the video games and Arkham, whatever. So like, there's so many things of Batman and there's so many things of Superman out now that have set that character up. You can't just start bullshitting and changing the standard of what these guys are. So there's things that are always set there that are benchmarks. And if you're underneath that, you're always going to be considered a B movie or below standards.
So what's the
acting or whatever.
what is this, Anthony? What is the standard for a Godzilla movie for you?
Oh, I mean, the first one.
The original.
The original
That will
is
always
standard.
be the standard.
I mean, if you're looking at, that's the original. If you're looking at, where he's fighting somebody,
yeah,
you got to look at like Godzilla versus Mothra, the first one that came out. You got to look at Ghidorah, the three-headed monster. You got to look at Godzilla versus Destroya.
But when does the standard change? Like
it always,
for example,
it can always change.
For example, like in the first movie, they had a suit,
right?
And then they did the 98 Godzilla, and then they're like, oh, this sets a standard for computer graphics, but it didn't set the standard for Godzilla because it was so unlike Godzilla.
Mm-hmm.
So they basically threw that in the garbage. You're like, okay, the standard still exists. The old movies still hold a candle. They're still there. The Heisei movies, all those guys still did a better Godzilla. And then you come back with 2014. Now you're like, okay, now I don't know where to go here because they did a CG Godzilla that captures the spirit of what they were trying to do in the suit.
Yeah.
And now you're like, almost like, okay, where's the standard going to go? You don't really know until this new Godzilla movie comes out what's going to be the standard. You don't know because they tried to do it with Shin Godzilla and that was subpar.
That was
movement
below
category.
the Godzilla standard.
So you could always see that 2014 is a standard for computer graphics or any kind of non-suit version of Godzilla.
Yeah.
It blows away the 98 version. It blows away every other version.
Yeah.
But there's still a standard for suitmation. So they have to fight it out now. For what the standard
in some ways, Superman 78 is still kind of the standard for a wholesome,
of how to portray that character.
Wholesome superhero Superman movie. Yes.
It's the standard for how a Superman movie should feel.
Correct. And then, of course, the conversation is going to lead to Star Wars, which is at the end of last episode. We had a lot of interesting discussion around the end of it and Star Wars fans. And I have an email from our buddy, super patron, Joe Henry, kind of ties into all this. He said, "Hi, guys. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and I wanted to reply to the Jock's comment that Star Wars fans are hard to please. I have to respectfully disagree. I think there's a big difference between being a critical fan and enjoying a franchise. I think that's a line that Rug Boy seems to follow pretty well, honestly. I believe that most Star Wars fans like the prequels, but had some issues here and there with dialogue or character choices. However, with the sequels, I think a lot of fans are turned off by them for different reasons. Original trilogy fans aren't too happy with the way the saga characters of Han and Luke were written, while the prequel trilogy fans weren't given a lot of Sith and Jedi to be happy. And after The Last Jedi, I think a large portion of the average movie-going audience were turned off by the subpar writing. So when it comes to Lucasfilm, if you are alienating your original prequel, an average movie fan with your decisions, your product will suffer. Solo's box office is a culmination of this, which will continue with episode 9. Of course, there's more to it than that, but I don't want to make this email too long. Keep up the great work, guys. I decided I would like to pick the movie Predestination with Ethan Hawke.
Oh, shit.
To review. It has a crazy plot, and I think it will be fun to hear the gang's take on it. Joe Henry, thanks for writing in. Predestination is a crazy fucking time travel movie. It's great. Good pick. But, Ruggs,
we got a lot of movies to review.
We do, and we will get started. We got a lot of Patreon orders to fill. We're going to get started very soon. Don't you worry. Ruggs, what do you think about his comments for Star Wars? Like, they feel like they're pretty spot on there.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, basically, there are some fans that are going to be fucking assholes and never be happy with anything. But there are fans that are a little bit more casual, or even like Anthony, who's not really into the franchise, that still thought there were problems with these movies. So I think it goes beyond blaming these toxic fans. I think that that's a scapegoat, just like, politics scapegoat people, and they just like, polarize, throw everybody who doesn't agree with you into one category, and whatever. I think that's what the internet does and social media does. And now, like, these directors, even Rian Johnson, he's going after these guys and calling them losers and geeks and whatever. But these are the guys that came to see your movie. So I don't know what that's about. But if you don't like his movie, then you're some kind of an asshole and whatever. So I think that it's weird that that these people think that these fans cannot be satiated. I think that they can. I think it's very simple.
That they aren't hard to please.
And I gave a bunch of stuff in the
you did
in the nation.
Group, you were like
about
3 easy things to fix 5
things that they can
and
do.
That was a great post. And I think you're right. The person running the show, the person making these decisions, this is where the blame has to lie, because it starts from the top there, and they're clearly, they don't know who their audience is, and in the meantime, they're alienating all their different audiences.
It's like they're trying to like get new fans,
right?
But at the same time, like those fans are not going to be the real fucking diehard fans that are going to carry you.
Yeah,
they're going to die off, and then when they're gone, you're going to miss them.
Yeah,
you need to create as much excitement and awe and all that stuff to these new kids that are going to love it. And I think that these kids are just taking it as a passing thing, and they're fighting about it because they like to fight with old people. Old people are wrong, and they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Well, you're going to see, just like the Robocop fandom is probably not there as rabid as it should be, or
but
the alien.
They will show up.
Those guys will show up.
Those guys will show up.
Because they will. They just will, because they like that shit, and they're not that. Alien doesn't have a backstory or a legend around it. It's just we want to see aliens kick people's ass. So it's like there's not. I mean, Ridley Scott tried to make it into some kind of story, and people didn't like that either, with the Covenant and all that other shit. I just think that Star Wars, if they're smart, they have a lot of things that they can use.
There's lots of
but they have a lot. There's a lot of tools that they're not using, and right now they're doing things that defy logic. So, I mean, I just watched it again.
I started watching Last Jedi again.
All right.
Yeah.
The Last Jedi, literally everybody dies because people just don't do what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So, okay, in the first scene, Poe Dameron goes and starts this attack against this gigantic fucking starship, and then he flicks off Princess Leia.
And he causes all those people driving those...
Why doesn't Princess Leia just go, okay, Poe Dameron can go fuck himself, everybody come back? She's the leader.
Don't listen to Poe. And he calls in the bombers, and then they all die because he's a dick.
Why can't she override his rule?
I don't know.
She's the leader.
Dude, I watched like the first half hour of that movie, and there's so many moments, and I'm like, I remember, I'm like, what is this? Like,
all right, and then there's another thing. Then the lady with the purple hair.
Yeah, Holdo.
She waits till they're firing onto all the other escape ships to fucking do the thing where she crashes the ship into the other ship. She should have done it as soon as
when the dreadnought,
all those guys would have died. Yes.
Plus, it still bothered me how slow those fucking bombers are. Like, how is this effective?
No, it's so stupid.
How is this an effective means of an attack?
It's so dumb. So, like, it's nothing to do with anything. It's just when you're watching, it's just frustrating.
And the Leia floating Mary Poppins in space, I'm like, why would you do that? I don't understand. What is this? It still doesn't make sense.
There's a lot of Star Wars talk.
We always end up talking about Star Wars. Anthony, comment on any of this? You got anything?
Since he addressed me, I feel like I should have commented, right?
He did. He did. Disagrees. Star Wars fans aren't hard to please.
I don't know.
And to your credit,
I don't really have an opinion on.
In your defense, you were a little bit buzzed when you said that last episode.
I don't remember what I even said.
I don't think you do. So it's fine.
But from the outside, it does seem like Star Wars fans are hard to please.
I mean, they can be.
They can be, but it doesn't have to be that way.
They can be, but I think that you could get it right enough that even though that they might not like it, it's still right.
Right.
Enough. So
James Mangold had a couple of great tweets about fan backlash. where he says, at the point when working and directing for big franchises has become the emotionally loaded equivalent of writing a new chapter of the Bible with the probable danger of being stoned and called a blasphemer, then a lot of bolder minds are going to leave these films to hacks and corporate boards.
Good. We don't want you on these movies. Go take a fucking bath, Mangold.
You don't like what he's saying?
You're too much of a pussy? All right, you don't have the stones to do it? I could do it.
He says...
I could fucking do it.
So someone goes, they already have. And he says, if you feel that is the case, if you feel filmmakers are just corporate tools and powerless, then why bitch at us? In the case of Rian Johnson and Chris McQuarrie, I assure you these cats are not owned. They actually fight your battles behind the scenes.
Well, I don't think Rian Johnson fought anybody's battles.
No, he got to do whatever he wanted to.
Yeah, I think that he just said, oh, fuck you guys.
So this last tweet's interesting. He says, the fervor of some attacks as
hungry.
An evangelical ferocity. We're almost done, Anthony. Now, I get it. It caused for many folks, including me, the Star Wars saga holds a tremendous spiritual power similar to a religious text. But we must remember to try to handle our disappointments the way that Yoda might, as opposed to Darth.
Look, if you're the Russo brothers... Yeah. You got no problem because you're doing the right thing.
That's true.
You're keeping the essence.
That's true.
You're bringing the fucking A game. You're making people happy. No, 70% of the time. All right? Most of the time, you're hitting it out of the park. So, whatever. You don't have the balls to fucking take some rejection, then don't do it. It's not for you.
Mangold.
Go play with the Wolverine, and that's it.
He may be doing the Boba Fett movie if that ever happens.
Yeah. Whatever.
So,
I mean, come on.
Dip his toe in
You're
there.
a pussy because you're getting backlash?
All right.
Get out the fuck out.
Anthony's getting hungry.
Hey, shut the fuck up. I'm doing something.
And when you hear Chaz, you know that it's time to go. It's the end of the show. Ruggs, where can the listener find you?
You can find me. I'm going to be tweeting Mr. Mangold right now.
Okay.
At Really Rug Boy.
Really Rug Boy. Also, Ruggs is fast becoming friends with Movie Bob. Get friendly with him. That would be fun. Get him on the show. A few announcements before we peace out. If you want to buy a Jock and Nerd t-shirt or a cell phone cover or some stickers, our store this week is on sale July 18th to July 22nd. If you visit jockandnerd.com/shop, everything's up to 30% off. So you can get $14 t-shirts, $30 crew necks, $20 phone cases. It's a great deal. Make sure you subscribe to the show so you never miss a show. And of course, tell a friend, spread the geekery, grab their Android phone, install the Google Podcast app, and then subscribe it, add us to their home screen. They'll thank you. Believe me, they'll thank you, just like I'm thanking you for listening to the Jock and Nerd Podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's the Nerd.
We'll peep you next time.
I really went hard at Mangold.
You did. I'm pumped.
Well, I just don't understand it.
James Mangold, you're going to get a tongue lashing from Rug Boy.
Like, you nerds are chasing us away from doing our jobs. I won't do it if you guys are bitches.
Yes. I see that you know your judo well.
Jock and Nerd.